Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
Band from Ringside.
Tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast, Seth Rollins is your guest referee at the McIntyre Punk SummerSlam match. Braun Breaker is facing Sami Zayn in the rematch. We got blood and guts, and the first 4 nights of G1 being recapped. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast. That's all I got, a third of the way through G1. That's unbelievable, right?
Yeah, you have it so quick.
Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks. Welcome to the Band from Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Sonata. And sitting directly across from me, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
No. God damn. At last, the Mark talking about blunts and jobs, tits and bras, menage a trois, beefers and expensive cars. And on that lovely note, I'll ask the congregation to bow their heads as I read from the latest edition of the Band from Ringside podcast, volume 369, chapter 3, verse 14. And the good smart said, hashtag boo the heels. It's all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat the holy trinity of BFR. As much as I don't even like Sonata, man, that was kind of fucked up, dog. Man, you ain't shit. I'm early. Shout out to my boy Michael Wallace Seals. I got your shirt on this week. We gonna kick it off already because this motherfucker ain't shit.
It's a good-looking shirt. And out there in Portland, Oregon, we have Two Beers, Zach Pullman. What's going on, Two Beers, Zach?
Beer for West is back, baby.
I am not a beefer in an expensive car, but my car is the most expensive thing I own. So it says anything about me. So,
hey, man, you gotta get from point A to point B, motherfucker.
What you rolling in?
I got a Subaru Outback. I drive a Honda Fit. My wife drives the Subaru Outback, which is the more expensive of the two.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
We used to have two Subarus.
Actually, I don't even own it.
Yeah, the bank owns it. I don't own shit. I own this podcast equipment. Oh, wait. Jason and I bought it together. It's Zach. So, actually, all three of us own it. I don't own shit. Hey, guys.
I do own my Honda Fit because back whenever I was getting money from the government during COVID, I was able to pay cash for that motherfucker. So, I mean, sorry to all those people that died, but that time was pretty great for me financially. So,
wow.
Oh, Zach's a big Thunderdome fan.
Yeah, bad for wrestling, good for my checking account.
No Bo tonight. Bo is busy working. He's a hard-working man, 8 days a week. So maybe we'll see him next week. Guys, I watched all the wrestling this week. Ask me if I watched all the wrestling.
Hey, can I ask
Did you watch all the wrestling?
I watched all the wrestling. Now ask me if I watched Slammiversary.
Did you watch Slammiversary?
Fuck! I forgot to watch Slammiversary. No, I did not watch Slammiversary. I kind of forgot about it, and then I looked at it.
It snuck in there, yeah. I was going to say that unfortunately it's right there.
Sorry, TNA. There's a lot of wrestling. But from what I hear, they did have a pretty good house and a pretty good show. So it's kind of the rising tide floats all boats kind of deal. I mean, wrestling is hot right now. And I tell you what, guys, I am so glad that Zach is back this week because I cannot wait to talk some G1 with you. But I don't think we're going to talk about that now. I don't know. Dealer's choice. Let's get to that 3 count.
Son of a bitch. I hate leading off.
JCB, kick it off.
No, we're just going to keep it simple. Let's start WWE. I just watched a little bit of it today, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. So let's just jump over to SmackDown. Opens up with Cody and A-Town Down Under getting into an altercation, obviously leading into a main event match. Cody teaming up with Kevin Owens versus A-Town Down Under. Obviously, Cody and KO win, but then get attacked by the Bloodline post-match last week. Orton gets taken out. Now, on Friday, Kevin Owens gets taken out. I was thinking in my head, in my world, Cody is going to have the title for a while. So if this is going to be the case, you're going to have to line up future opponents down the line. I think we can all agree that Randy Orton is probably a solid opponent, not even a solid choice, somebody that we can honestly see being against Cody. On the flip side, Kevin Owens, not so much, but I think if you position Kevin to the point where he keeps getting attacked by the Bloodline and in defense of Cody Rhodes, I could see Kevin Owens flipping heel on Cody. We can see a KO Cody program down the line. That's just me fantasy booking, but neither here nor there. A-Town Down Under is probably splitting up at this point. My guess is Austin Theory's face turn is not rapidly approaching, but at least it's on the horizon. But to me, once again, the bigger story is Cody having to watch one of his friends take the fall for him being the world champion.
Zach, what did you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's rapidly approaching because, I mean, I know that they have weekly television to write. But Jesus Christ, they've been bumping into each other for like 2 fucking months, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like, they've been like missing spots and like accidentally hitting each other. Like, they've been teasing this breakup for so long that when it happens, I'm not even going to give a fuck about it. But I kind of barely gave a fuck about it to begin with, so it's not really that fair. I do like your idea about KO. I think Randy's going to be first, but I can see KO. Like, both of them are conniving bastards that are better heels than faces, even though they're great at both. You can heat KO up at any time for a championship contender.
When Mad Men used to be on TV, I was an originalist. Like, I started watching it right at the beginning, and I became kind of gatekeepery about it. And I definitely thought that people, when it got to like season 6, and there would be like kind of a down episode where not very much happened, people would be like, "That was a shitty episode." I'd be like, "Motherfucker, like, you're watching like the best show that's ever been on television. Like, you can't judge it on a week-to-week basis. They're telling you a story. You got to go with it." Okay, so right now, I said a couple weeks ago that WWE is as hot as it's ever been, right? And I still believe that. Like, I think that I thought about it when I wasn't high the next day, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is as good as WWE's ever been. But I'm about to be one of those guys. Because it's so good every week, this is a fucking Teddy Long-ass main event, man. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes versus A-Town Down Under. Just for fucking the bloodline. Just for the bloodline to come in.
Hang on. Teddy Long is a classic for you facing The Undertaker or shit like that.
But I'm saying it's from the era when shit would happen at the beginning. They'd be like, that's going to be a tag team in the main event. It's like shit that doesn't matter. It's just kind of, and I don't, it stands out so much because SmackDown's been so good. Cody kind of seems, I get it that they are setting up opponents for down the road and stuff, but it doesn't make for a particularly compelling segment of television, I guess. I'm just bitching it a little bit. I called you spoiled last week. I'm just acting spoiled right now. That's all.
Okay, as long as you calling yourself Kettle.
I'm calling myself.
As long as you calling yourself Kettle, then we ain't got nothing else to say. Carmelo Hayes loses to Andrade. A little bit of a surprise. I thought Melo might get the dub here, but Andrade gets the win. Pretty good match. I like both guys. It was, like I said, for me, a bit of a surprise that Melo took the L. Not worried about Melo, but just disappointed, that's all. We had Nia Jax and Bayley have a face-to-face, well, not even face-to-face, but just they're barking at each other, building to their SummerSlam match. Like I said last week, it's about damn time we started seeing a little bit more of Nia Jax and Bayley against each other. We'll see more of that later on. Obviously, we'll see that. We saw that against Tiffany Stratton and Meechin wrestled later on that night. Obviously, Nia Jax in the corner of Tiffany Stratton. Bayley comes out, destroys the briefcase of Tiffany Stratton, that distracts her to allow Meechin to get the roll-up victory. Not going to lie, once again, bit of a disappointment, but it's not like Tiffany Stratton is undefeated. It's not like Money in the Bank winners don't lose going up to the eventual cash-in, so I had to take a step back. Don't be a mark on this one. Meechin is who she is, throw her a bone, but ultimately this is more about Tiffany Stratton.
Some real self-reflection. I mean, Jason and I are really taking hard looks in the mirror at ourselves, here, and coming out of it being like, you know what, maybe I'm being the jerk, maybe it's me. Zach, what'd you think about this?
Meanwhile, I'm on the sidelines listening to you guys last week without any inputs. I'm just coming out swinging. I got no self-reflection.
Come out swinging.
But yeah, this was pretty typical WWE Money in the Bank booking. They put something on them and they feel like they can beat them, and they can. But they do this every time. Somebody has Money in the Bank, they beat them because they've got an in. So I wasn't surprised with that. at all. I did like Carmelo and Andrade. I think that was the best thing on the SmackDown. SmackDown has been kind of better than Raw for a while, but I feel like that pendulum is swinging into Raw's favor, which I'm sure we'll talk about here with some of those storylines coming in. But this is kind of a nothing show.
I got to address that first and foremost. As good as the Bloodline has been, I think that Drew and Punk has been the hottest thing on television, and I think the Braun Breaker stuff.
And live in Rio.
And Braun Breaker has been fucking cooking. So I think Raw's been better as of late. You remember when Vince used to have champions lose on Raws and SmackDowns? Like, they would just fucking get pinned. Like, they would have non-title matches, and he would just have the champion pinned. You would never see the champion pinned on television today.
I would.
No, you're right.
I would hope and especially in a scenario where it's a non-title match, you don't want that. You want to keep the champion strong. To me, that's wrestling 101. But ultimately, you see what he's trying to do. He being Triple H. I agree. With
I'm just saying this
all the way. For whatever reason, Tiffany Stratton can lose, but she still has the end.
Once again, it just kind of stands out though because they don't do that with champions anymore.
Yeah, it does, because they used to do it all the time.
Yes, all the time.
Reason, especially like the U.S. title. Like, if you got the U.S. title, that just means you were going to lose on TV every week.
What's up, Ezekiel Jackson?
Hi, Zack Ryder. Son of a bitch. You wanted
Before
WrestleMania.
you tweet at me, I know that Ezekiel Jackson won the IC. Come on, guys. It was the same deal with the IC, though.
Yes. I mean, a mid-card title was definitely not necessarily what's a hot shot from time to time. Backstage, Jade and Bianca looking for the tag team titles, bump into Piper and Chelsea. That leads into a Bianca versus Chelsea match. Not a great showing for Chelsea Green. I still think she has the glow from Money in the Bank on her, so I'm not even too worried about it. Bianca was supposed to win. She won. Nice little segment between LA Knight and Logan Paul. This is the reason why I was looking forward to the match. The verbal attacks from each other face to face. This is what I was looking forward to. For me, it delivered. What'd you think?
I'm sorry, I was thinking about something else. Oh, Bianca versus Chelsea Green. No, yeah, that was good. Yeah, I liked it.
Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Did you like that?
I love the verbal interaction between Logan Paul and LA Knight. I loved what both of them said. I thought it was tremendous. What did you think, Zach?
Oh, real good. And this is exactly kind of like Jason said, why I was looking forward to this feud, because they're both over with the crowd to a different degree, and they can both talk. And LA Knight is very likable, and Logan Paul is very hateable. This just, like, if you didn't put this match together, like, just screams easy. It's cake. Putting these guys together, it just makes sense.
Did you like it, Jason?
No, I loved it. I was going to say it's exactly what I was looking for, and then some. If there's anything that we can all agree about LA Knight is he can talk. Logan Paul, we can all agree that Logan Paul can talk and he can go in the ring.
Yep.
Now, at that point, we had the one common denominator is stick in hand and time to say what they wanted to say, and I thought they both knocked it out of the park. So it just, for me personally, it's a match I was already looking forward to. Now they just added a little spice to it. I can't speak for you guys. I know how you don't like LA Knight in ring, so we'll see what happens. We talked about Misha beating Tiffany Stratton, so Sikoa basically taunting Roman Reigns if he comes back. He's going to have to acknowledge me as his tribal chief. So let's just talk about it. We're 2 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry, not even 2 weeks. A week away from SummerSlam. Predictions are next week. Do you expect to see? We'll start with Three Beer first. Do you expect to see Roman on Saturday night in any form or fashion?
I think they slow roll it. I think if anything, we get like Jimmy and
He took it from me.
Oh yeah, like a babyface Jimmy. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't think that Roman comes out at SummerSlam.
I would hope he doesn't. I'm already on record. I want you to drag this thing out as long as humanly possible. If that means bring Jimmy back, I'm cool with that.
Unlike A-Town Down Under, they can drag this out as long as they want to, and people will still care. This is just going to get bigger the longer that you wait.
Agreed.
I think that, yeah, I don't know. I think that no, I'm just trying to think if I would put the belt on Solo, and I think the answer is no.
Right now, no.
At SummerSlam, I mean.
No.
Yeah.
Not ready. I think and this is not I guess I better pull out the Talladega Nights reference. I said with all due respect, we saw what happened with Trick Williams. I mean, we put the title on him probably a little too early, and now they took it off of him, and now he's back in chase mode again, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't necessarily think that Solo is ready for that. I don't think you can come up with a plausible scenario, bloodline fuckery, obviously, but even with that, I don't think the fans would accept that as someone they would say that could beat Cody Rhodes. That would be like, okay, we can move along. I think that would be an instant revolt.
He's great to lead the Bloodline 2.0, but is he ready to lead the fucking biggest wrestling company in history at its biggest, peak? No.
I mean, but he gets it sometime.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Somewhere down the line, yeah.
Who gets a heavyweight belt first, Solo or Jay?
Ooh. Damn.
I think Solo, maybe.
I'm leaning towards Jay. I've always said that he's got the fans, he sells merch, and that's the two things that you really, really need. He's got to end for a storyline the same way Solo does.
The top of that card is the upper card of Raw is just fucking stacked, man. It is just fucking stacked.
It really is.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Gunther, Damian Priest open the show. They're not even getting ready to talk too much. Damian Priest comes down and straight goes in on Gunther. They fight in the ring, out the ring, out into the back. Gunther is someone that I'm really looking forward to see, and he and Damian Priest face each other at SummerSlam. I'm not 100% convinced that Gunther is going to win. I'm leaning towards that. Like I said last week, I just feel it would have to be a really good explanation for me to accept Gunther being defeated by Damian Priest, especially if it's done clean. They've just booked him way too strong at this point. I kind of expect this to be the coronation for Gunther.
Zach, what do you think?
I mean, this motherfucker was amazing when he was fat as fuck, just slapping dudes at indie shows, and he dropped 100 pounds.
Now he dresses like Dieter from Sprockets.
Dude, he put in the work. He really carries himself like a star. They really booked him like a star. And when he came out and he's gonna do the whole thing, he's what I said last week, and then the fans are booing him so much, he's just I'm gonna skip it. He's I meant everything I said. I'm not even gonna fuck around. So good. And I mean, Damian Priest was elevated by this title, and he's had a good little run character-wise. His matches have been marred. He had a botch, the 2 times ago with the Dream match where he got caught in the top rope, with his leg, and then this last one he didn't kick out. He's had some tough moments in his matches, but his week-to-week carrying and has been very good. But man, I just don't see him beating Gunther.
I don't see him beating Gunther, but Zach started talking about those 2 snafus that happened in 2 consecutive matches, and I gotta say, the Gunther Damian Priest's build so far has kind of made me forget about him. This might be Damian Priest's best build thus far, and maybe it's because he's a better babyface.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
It could be, but I think that's kind of the flip to Gunther. I think he's an amazing heel. So
no doubt,
you got to have one to play off the other. I think Gunther's the better heel than Damian Priest is a babyface. We haven't seen much of Priest as a babyface, so time will tell. I agree with you on the fact of selective memory. I forgot about the accidental almost lost my leg in England.
They were both. I mean, they were botches, but they were both of them are completely explainable.
Yeah, it's not his fault. It's just
it doesn't
wrong
feel like
place,
his fault.
Wrong time.
It feels like bad luck, which is probably why I'm rooting for him so much. You know,
I would totally agree
it
with
does
that.
feel like bad luck.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. You see so many times guys step on the rope and springboard off easily, not a problem. It just for whatever reason. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a thing all night long, even at the very beginning. AJ versus Cody. So I mean, that's just bad luck on the Damian Priest part. You get your bell rung, bad luck on Damian Priest's part.
The segment, Zach's right. I mean, Gunther is he's like you almost kind of forget how good he is on the mic when he gets to actually come out and just cut a promo. And just cutting a heel-ass promo, man. It was great. And Damian Priest, as a character, should just go in there and start wanting to stomp ass, No,
it was perfect work. I'm just marveling at Gunther. I can't believe I'm even calling him Gunther when I said I would never do that. Ilya Dragunov versus Braun Breaker. Winner gets Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. We already kind of talked about it a little bit. Braun Breaker gets the dub as Ilya Dragunov gets knocked loopy. I'm assuming that's in kayfabe style. Where he can no longer continue the match. No, I didn't. It's just the way that they came out and started to check on him or whatever. It didn't feel like this was legit. It just felt like this was storyline.
I think I've asked.
No, if somebody's actually hurt, they don't move them around.
Right. Well, I think I've asked this before, but I'll ask again. Zach, are you okay with them using CTE stuff in kayfabe?
I think it's situational, but I do enjoy a rough stoppage every now and then.
Yeah, I like a ref stoppage too. I don't know if this is Cornette's corner or maybe Cornette's different. Maybe Cornette doesn't believe this, but I don't think that they should throw up the X if somebody's not actually hurt.
I agree.
Yeah, the X. I think there should be some semblance of reality because everybody's in on it. So it's fine. I enjoy the old school shit. There's just a great example of it. Maybe it'll come whenever we're talking about other shows, but I was just like, oh man, that's so old school and I love it. But yeah, I will say, I don't have many unkind or pejorative things to say about Daniel Bryan, but him selling his fucking central nervous system and acting like he's gonna die in almost every match, and he's legitimately almost retired at one point. I feel like has been a little much. He does it a lot,
no doubt,
and it makes me worry for him because of his history. And I know that's why he's doing it. Remember his first match back with Brock, and Brock just gave him a bunch of very safe German suplexes, and he sold it so well that I was so fucking mad. I was just fuck Vince McMahon, fuck WWE, I'm canceling the WWE network, this is bullshit.
Got your ass, nigga.
He did.
I can't say I disagree with you totally because the Will Ospreay match, there was times where I'm like, okay, are we getting worked?
Good.
I wasn't sure if we were getting worked or not, and that was always one of my biggest things about shit, especially when it comes to Daniel Bryan. It wasn't as bad at WWE, but AEW has really leaned into it whenever it felt necessary to do so. So I agree with Zach. It's situational. That's the time I don't like it. There's times where Ilya Dragunov has been knocked loopy, quote unquote. Okay, yeah, let's call it a match. I'm with you on that too. A good referee stoppage makes Braun Breaker look even stronger.
What else you got?
Oh, shit, it is my count. Sister Abigail was the next vignette for the Wyatt Six. Not as good as the rest. Maybe it was just because it was a little short.
Well, can we talk about Final Testament and then when the Wyatts came out? Final Testament versus Xavier Woods and Alpha Academy, Gable and the Creeds come out, and then the Wyatts come out and dominate them again. Uncle Howdy pulls off the Sister Abigail. What'd you think about that?
Okay.
Did you pop, Zach?
I did not. I forgot that they. I don't know. I was tuned out of this match, so I don't think I saw any Wyatt stuff. I just saw this match and I just wasn't interested. I was working, and
I kind of thought it was cool that Uncle Howdy did the Sister Abigail. As for the Sister Abigail vignette, did they ever say that Nikki Cross's name was Sister Abigail?
I don't think they said her name.
I don't think she is Sister Abigail. I think she's Nikki Cross. Are they trying to act like she's not Nikki Cross? I mean, didn't she?
No, I don't think they're.
She had the heavyweight belt for a while, right?
Yeah, she was cashed in. She was a
well. Then she's Nikki fucking Cross. Like
everybody knows who everybody is. That's the difference. Is like they're not pretending like they're not the real people. But I don't know what Wyatt character she is, because it is very transparent that they're all characters. Like whenever they do the interviews, like I was on last week, but like Eric Rowan was like, that was like one of the best things I've seen all year on WWE. It's just Eric Rowan talking about, I lost my brother and then I lost my fucking other brother. And like he went from unemployed, I mean, I'm sure he's working somewhere, but he wasn't like, WWE employed. And, then he loses, his two best friends in the world. And then now he has this, job again, doing what he loves. It's got to be like a roller coaster, man. Like,
oh shit.
They didn't shy away from it at all. It was great.
No, and that's what I was saying last week, and it kind of felt like more so this week, even though this week's vignette wasn't knock it out of the park great, it was still, a different person. So we're shining the spotlight on another person of the Wyatt Six, introducing this character. Maybe not for me the best way that it could have been done, but they're at least going one at a time, introducing these characters. But then when it came,
what would be great? I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I just had this idea. If when they interviewed Nikki Cross, like when Uncle Howdy is interviewing Nikki Cross, she talks about her past trauma whenever she was forced to dress up like a superhero.
Ding!
Yeah, because that was fucking terrible. And that's when she won the belt, but it was a total joke run, and she was a joke character. Like,
okay, actually, quick counterpoint, because I did think about this. If I'm not mistaken, that was Nikki Cross's idea. So I don't know if you want to go that route, you can, but it would almost be contradicting what she initially wanted to do.
She owned it, but it was terrible. I mean, she did her best with it, but it was bad. Anyway, I'm sorry.
They got to wrestle. They just have to wrestle. Like, they have to start wrestling.
Okay, and that's kind of where I was going with this ultimately. Okay, so Uncle Howdy does their Sister Abigail. Okay. Now what?
I mean, you're saying he did the Sister Abigail move, or he dressed up like Sister Abigail?
He did the Sister Abigail finish.
He hit Gable with the Sister Abigail.
Oh, okay.
And he was wearing he was wearing like full mask and dreadlocks and shit.
He came out as Uncle Howdy.
I thought, remember whenever Bray was about to do the Sister Abigail thing and how cool that? I thought that's what you're talking about. I was like, I missed that.
Yeah,
but yeah, okay.
It was when he was against Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next?
Several Judgment Day segments. This one, Finn is trying to coax Dominic into going after Jey Uso for the disrespect from last week. Rhea seemingly defending Jey Uso, saying you don't want to do that. Finn and Rhea now having friction. So once again, this is, I think it's a spinoff for both Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley to both turn babyface. We'll see about that in a second. Obviously, Liv and Dom meet backstage, which then turns into one of the better moments of this Liv, Dom, Rhea triangle, where Dominic just eviscerates Liv to the point where she runs away crying in tears. I'm saying it. I think this is all a part of the hoax, if you will, to get Rhea Ripley to go over her guard, and then this knife will go into the back ultimately at SummerSlam, and it's going to be one of the biggest swerve moments. I wouldn't even call it a swerve. I think we all predict it's coming in. I think it's just going to be one of those huge moments where the crowd is so invested that you're going to hear some sort of.
So you're saying that they're playing a long game. So like when
Yes.
Dom tells Liv off.
The
So
only thing I
so
can't be
when did the
convinced
long
of-
game start? Was it when Dom kept trying to help Liv lose and kept going against her? Like how far back are we talking?
I would go this far. When I would say like 2 or 3 weeks ago, when you had they're stretching legs and all this other cute shit.
Yep.
That's when I really, we're falling on each other. It's getting close.
Well, this has been going on as long as A-Town Down Under's been breaking up.
I would say longer than that. I was going to say.
It's been going for 2 months, man.
I remember A-Town Down talking about breaking up. Now it's like, oh yeah, they're going to break up.
Yeah, watch the product.
I just don't know if Finn Balor is in cahoots, because that's what it feels like. He's hiding in the shadows.
I mean, this is
watching
okay.
this
I'm really
all
just
happen.
kind of waiting for the end at this point. Like I'm just waiting for him to break up.
3 beer.
I really enjoyed this every week. I'm still into it. I thought this week was great for a couple of reasons. I loved Rhea getting upset whenever they wanted to she described like going to war. Like she's like with Jey Uso, and she's like, and now you got Sami Zayn pissed off, and that really kind of got them over as like big baby faces. Like it's like big, like they have a, like, hey, we don't want to mess with these guys. Like they're like the real fucking deal.
There's such a weird faction because they have heels and baby faces in it. It's like
yeah, and I feel like they really kind of
Rhea and Priest are both baby faces.
Okay, that's a little fair. That's a little fair.
Yeah, and it really, and you can see kind of like where the split would be if the split were to happen. And they even have it like whenever they're walking into the building, you see Rhea, and it's like Rhea's walking with Priest and like Finn and Big Head and like Carlito's in the back.
I know, man. Who you saying Big Head is?
McDonough.
I forgot his name, but yeah, JD McDonough. And but yeah, so and also I really enjoyed this, like just because I'm with Jason. I think they're going to swerve, and that's going to put even more heat on Dom. But man, Liv has played her, like she's really elevated herself, like by being in this, and like she's really stepped up. I know a lot of people were down on her last title reign. I was okay with it, but I wasn't like in love with it. This has been fantastic, and it hasn't been for work rate. It's just all character work.
Agreed.
And like whenever she told Rhea, who's really beautiful, guys aren't into girls like you, and then she like turns around with those fucking Daisy Dukes and says they're into girls like me, and I was like, holy fucking shit! Like she knows exactly what she's doing, and she's just very good at this. And Rhea is fantastic, and she's super over. I think this is really good television, and I think it's probably, I might have said it last time I was on, but like I think this is the most interesting thing in WWE right now, and probably the hottest angle, the ones that people between that and then also like Punk and Drew, this is where it's at for WWE right now.
Jason's got something to say.
I'm just going to piggyback on what you said and bring Jinder Mahal knowingly into this conversation. So Monday night, Jinder Mahal calls me. He's like, "Are you watching Raw?" And I was like, "No, I'm at the house. I'm feeding the cats. This is like 9:00." So the segment was going on. And he was like, "Oh man, you missed it." And he started to tell me about the segment, turn around, the Daisy Dukes on or whatever. Ultimately, the moral of this story is that is a preview of what is going to happen when they go over to Netflix. It's going to be a little more racy. It's going to be a little more spicy. That is going to
unprofessional bullshit.
As might as well be, but it is the precursor of things to come. That is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, things are going to come.
That's the tip of the iceberg, and Liv Morgan is going to.
Can't believe I made that joke.
It's the truth.
That's a Zach joke.
It is totally a Zach joke. Liv Morgan is starting to open the door to the internet. Oh, no, I'm sorry, the Netflix era, if you will.
I mean, I just thought that we'd get the occasional F-bomb on Netflix, and I was good with that. You know, I'm kind of with Bill. I know he said it before, like, if I want to watch porn, I'll just watch porn. You know, if I want to see, like, scantily clad chicks. Now, Liv Morgan's, like, legitimately, like, in person, one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen, like, in person. But, like, I don't know, I'm not going to complain about it, but, like, there's certain things about the PG era where, like, I wouldn't be embarrassed if you walked in and I was watching, like, modern WWE, but if they started doing some, like, risque, like, sex shit, like, I might be. Depends on how they handle it. But
yeah, I don't think that's. I think they make a lot of money with children, and I don't think they're going to get any more racy than they did the other night. I got no opinion about this. I got an opinion about it, but I ain't got no opinion about it.
I think what they did the other night is about as racy as I would want the product to be because it's suggestive, but like it was excellent. I thought it was a great segment.
Okay.
And I mean, like if Rhea wants to show her tits, then yeah, I'll totally watch. Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
I'm with you, Tenenbaum Hall. We on this hour maybe by ourselves, but I'm with you, motherfucker. Obviously, let's talk about the aforementioned Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. Sami stops Jey from getting attacked by Judgment Day, which leads to an ultimate, once again, Teddy Long main event, as Bill so aptly described. Sami and Jey Uso versus Finn and JD McDonough.
Another Teddy Long-ass main event. You're right.
Hey, look, you're welcome. Obviously, Finn and JD McDonough lose this match. Is this a precursor of a Sami Zayn, Jey Uso tag team?
No, but
I think it's a precursor to Survivor Series or something.
Yeah, I think it's War Games or Survivor Series.
Okay, I'd say I'm totally thinking about, you know, what's life after Sami Zayn.
I mean,
if
they're going to have a Bloodline Survivor Series or War Games match, Roman coming back and appealing to Sami Zayn to be on his side, or Sami Zayn like volunteering to be on Roman's side, I mean, that's money.
Oh yeah, I mean, my thought was for Bloodline versus Bloodline to be Roman, Jay, Jimmy, Sammy, the OG.
With Heyman in the corner, nigga, what's up?
Yeah.
I need a cigarette myself. Bronson Reed.
Tangelo out there botching shit. Tangalo's going to have 4 botches in that match. He's not even going to be in it.
I did see something on Facebook. A rumored tag team title match would be Fatu and Tama Tonga versus DIY, not what we would consider as GOD, Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga versus DIY. Are you okay with Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu as a tag team? If they were good to go after DIY, would you be okay with that as a possible tag team title match?
Fuck yeah. Why not?
We just gonna make Tonga Loa the motherfucking water boy in the Bloodline 2.0?
It's a meritocracy. Jacob Fatu is it's a huge step up. Are you kidding?
Yeah, he is definitely a Nepo hire. If he was not hired, like he's a Nepo hire for sure.
You niggas.
All you're doing by putting Jacob Fatu in that situation is making everybody happier.
Yeah, that's like Team Hell No, and you're replacing Kane with Ospreay. So would you be okay with that if it was Daniel Bryanson? Yeah, dude, I'm fine with that.
I'm sweating my ass off. That is Comedy Central. Bronson Reed and
sorry, we're out of the green beans. Would you like a blowjob instead?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Bronson Reed and Pete Dunne don't even get a match in. Sheamus comes in to attack Bronson Reed. Pete Dunne slinks out, but then comes back and attacks Sheamus on the back end. Pete Dunne attacks Sheamus. Pete Dunne attacks Trick Williams on Tuesday night. The resurgence of Pete Dunne.
Yeah, but Sheamus attacked Pete Dunne on Monday.
I thought Pete Dunne came back in and snaked Sheamus from behind.
No, I thought that Sheamus jumped Pete Dunne this time. Didn't Sheamus come into? It was going to be Pete Dunne versus Bronson Reed,
yeah.
And Sheamus jumped in, and he jumped Pete Dunne. And he said afterwards, he's like, Pete Dunne, he's like, we can either go have a pint and talk about it, or we can get in the ring like men.
Okay.
So,
you're right.
I mean, we're getting Sheamus Pete Dunne, but Sheamus isn't playing like the mega baby face. I mean, well, I guess he is, but it like he did just jump Pete Dunne.
After getting jumped from behind, the week before.
I'm saying it's intriguing to me. I also like, and also intriguing to me is Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne.
That to me is intriguing to me. I'll just quick NXT for 30 seconds. I was looking forward to Trick and Cedric, and it disappointed. For whatever reason, their chemistry was just not.
I thought it was pretty good.
No, I thought it was just like steps or two off. Like Cedric was getting ready to do a move, and Trick wasn't in the right spot.
I like how Trick showed up driving with his shirt off because I do that shit.
Big old pimps usually do.
Thank you.
Pete Dunne is on to me more of a scientific, technical wrestler, so you won't have these little yips, little misses that you do with Cedric. Cedric is much more of, not flippy, but he can do some flips. Amazing, obviously, in the Cruiserweight Classic.
He's a bad motherfucker, dude.
That's...
They dropped the ball with him and Shelton, but they dropped the ball with the Hurt Business.
So
I'll die on that hill.
Apparently,
It could have been the Judgment Day.
Lashley and MVP are no longer a part of the WWE. They're not even on the alumni page. Are we interested to see the Hurt Business in AEW? I know I'm skipping ahead.
Yes. Yeah, I would be interested in that. It doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Zach, you okay with the Hurt Business traveling to AEW minus Cedric?
I mean, it just seems like AEW has enough people. I don't think they're going to, you got two guys that are over 50 going into AEW, fucking snooze fest, I don't know, spend a few $1 million, spending on more Elton John songs or something.
Damn.
They're going to replace Cedric Alexander with Marco Stunt.
I mean, and that's not even anything against, Lashley or MVP, but it's just dude, there's enough people that don't have enough TV time in the 5 hours that they have as it is. They'd be better off, I don't know. Lashley, he used to be a TNA guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
not as big of a paycheck, but it'd be more impactful.
Well, he held belts. He was their top guy for a while.
Yeah, he was Bobby 3 belts at one point while you bullshit.
Yeah.
He is a top guy, and he doesn't look like he's aged at all, but,
he doesn't look
it's time to be building new stars. If WWE don't want you, I don't either at this point. If I'm Tony Khan.
God
Ouch. Damn,
got
dog.
Mortos out there wrestling 3 times a week.
But Bobby Lashley can't get no run. You cold-blooded, dog.
That's true. But, I mean, if you want Lashley out there losing to Darby Allin, that's fine. But
I mean, that's true.
Nigga, speak. Zelina Vega with a backstage vignette discussing the injury to her arm, and then coming out with some assistance, beating Zoe Stark using the arm cast to help guide the victory. Feels like this is some sort of underdog push for Zelina Vega. I know you said in the past, Bill, that you thought she could be a possible WWE Women's Champion. I think this might be something, whichever mid-card title goes on to Raw. I think this feels like a start, at least a build for Zelina Vega to be into that mix.
Man, I could see her being a massive babyface champion. I really can. I think that she could get way over. She's really good. She's great on the mic.
Oh yeah, she can cook motherfuckers like nobody's business.
And she can wrestle. So she might not be the best worker, but I mean neither is Liv Morgan.
Oof. Who's better, 3 Beer, Liv Morgan or Zelina Vega?
Zelina Vega. I didn't want to imply that I was saying Liv Morgan was better than Zelina Vega. Zach, what do you think?
I mean, Are you talking about in ring or just all around?
We're just talking in ring. We're just talking in ring.
In ring, man, I really haven't seen a lot of ring, to be honest. Liv Morgan's totally fine. I'd give her like a B. I don't know what it is. Like, I just haven't seen a ton of her. But
I'd give her a D.
You ain't
What is
shit.
wrong with me?
I mean, yeah, what the hell's going on?
Damn.
You're taking
we
these
need a
jokes.
bonk bill.
Fucking hot in
these
here?
jokes. This motherfucker over here is coming out swinging instead of just like, okay, guys, let's everybody just cool out.
Nah. I told you it was going to be
Actually,
hot.
I know exactly what's wrong. Like, when's the last time you jerked off? It was not within 24 hours, so that's your problem.
What's next, Jason?
Zelina Vega beats Zoe Stark. You had Woods and Drew. Actually, we need to take some steps back.
Yeah, I know. You skipped over
Punk versus Drew. So obviously,
yeah. I was like, let's talk about this and move on.
Punk comes out to call out Drew McIntyre. Drew eventually shows up, says he's not ready to get into the ring at this point, even though Punk is now medically cleared. Adam Pearce comes out, makes the match, says that if either guys touch each other, they're basically out on the street, fired, if you will, but he does have a trick up his sleeve. Seth Rollins is announced as the special guest referee. So obviously, Seth Rollins has some friction between him and Drew and himself and CM Punk. Which has more friction? I'll let you tell it. Bill, you can talk about the segment, or you can talk about what you think is going to happen at SummerSlam.
I have no idea what's going to happen in SummerSlam, but I
got to guess.
But I'm pretty cool with Seth Rollins being made the special guest referee of this. It prolongs the hottest feud in wrestling, and it it makes sense. All three players have something to gain and something to lose. It's a big time. It's one of those SummerSlam matches that you'll look at in a few years and you'll be like, oh, yeah, that was fun. He was the special guest referee. When is a special guest referee involved in the feud never worked out on a big card like that? When does it never work out? Mike Tyson, I guess. But
I think that worked out.
But, yeah, not in the match. But, like, HBK and The Taker Triple H, fucking money, dude.
Yeah.
That's good shit. So I'm looking forward to this.
HBK with Bret Hart and Steve Austin.
Yep, that too. What you think about this, Zach?
Segment wise, like, I don't know, like I almost called him Pierce Morgan. Adam Pierce. Adam Pierce threatening to suspend people is like the boy who cried, "Stop it!" Like, I don't know, we've had some suspensions, but. I am into Seth Rollins as the special guest referee. I do think, even though he's very over, and I mean, he's great. He's one of their biggest stars, but like, I'm so fucking over this like dancing Seth Rollins gimmick with the stupid fucking outfits. Like, dude, CM Punk's out there just trying not to laugh at this fucking idiot. Like, he's out there with like a fucking shirt that just like a pirate shirt with just arms. It's like got only no back, but it's like it was fucking nuts. Like, and it's not even like in the top 10 of the dumbest fucking things I've seen him wear this year.
No, I got no issues with Seth Rollins' wardrobe.
It's funny, but like as a character, like the thing is like, I want to take him seriously, and I can't take him seriously. Like, he is, maybe whenever he held the title and he was like performing and working every single week, maybe it's because he's just been out and hurt. So, like, I don't really see him as like as credible right now because he's just out there dancing around. Like, he seems like a goof. Drew and Punk seem like two guys who legitimately hate each other and like they want to do business and like, they want to, like, they know that they have the most money match in the company, but they also fucking hate each other. And, like, kayfabe style. But, like, Seth Rollins just seems, like, so ancillary to this. He's in the fucking cup chair in this fucking feud, you know?
What do you think, Jason?
Seth Rollins is eating some popcorn and shit.
I love that the cuck chair has become one of the most enduring bits.
That motherfucker just comes out every now and then.
You ever drop a cuck chair joke out in the wild, like not on the podcast? People look at you like, did you write that?
Yeah, I dropped it like 2 weeks ago, and then I had to explain the logistics of a hotel room and the etymology and the cosmology of the hotel room cuck chair, where it sits in relation to the other furniture.
Oh, that's great. I'm fucking dead over here. Love the segment. I think honestly because Seth has friction with both guys, it's the perfect guy to have for the special guest referee. Obviously, Drew has assaulted referees in the past. So in Adam Pearce's mind, you need somebody to, quote-unquote, maintain law and order. Now, all that being said, Seth Rollins ain't going to be able to create the law and order at that point because he's going to have beef with both of these guys.
No, it's going to be sports entertainment to the fucking max.
Yes.
And they've been booking sports entertainment really well for the last year or so. So fucking give me some sports goddamn entertainment. Let your freak flag fly.
If there's a swerve at this point, I think this will be the biggest swerve of the night. Does Seth Rollins get involved in the match?
Man,
so
I'm going to be glued to my fucking seat during that shit.
Oh, yeah,
I can't wait. It's going to be
so
fucking
on.
It's going to be good.
SummerSlam is set up to be a really good pay-per-view. I haven't seen the tag team match yet. That's the only thing I'm looking to see if there's anything like that. But outside of that, it's all single matches, but they all got some sort of intrigue to it.
Obviously we'll be doing predictions next week, but do you foresee Breaker beating Zayn?
I don't see how you not do it at this point. You can't. I mean, you can, but
Zach?
Logic says you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, you called it with I know you weren't on the prediction show, but like you had called it before, and you're like, I think Sammy beats him at SummerSlam, and then or Sammy beats him at Money in the Bank, and then Braun wins at SummerSlam, and I think it was a sage prediction.
Yep,
I totally would have forgot I made that prediction. Thank you.
Way to go, Zach.
Thank you for reminding me. Let's get to that.
I will ask you a question real quick before 2 count.
Sure.
Which would you rather have a special guest referee in? Would you rather have Seth Rollins, or would you rather have Dominic as the referee in Leah Riz?
I mean,
my hair's getting ready.
Which one would I rather have?
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. I think Rollins.
That's tough.
I'm leaning towards Dom and Dom being the special because I'm just such a Dom mark. I have been for a while, especially.
I mean, this is gonna get really dorky, but like they can get to wherever they're getting with the Dom, Rhea, and Liv thing without him being special guest or referee.
Probably.
It wouldn't.
Because he'll be ringside regardless.
Exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to that 2 count.
Still love to see Dom getting pulled on both ends.
2 beer. What's the 2 count?
Dom getting pulled off of both ends.
You're welcome.
Unprofessional bullshit.
Holy
Dom
shit.
with a rusty tram. His new finishing move is a rusty trombone. All right. So I know we say to skip Rampage all the time, but this one was still skippable. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's still skippable. But it did open with a fucking awesome match, which was Undisputed Kingdom, which is Roderick Strong, Mike Bennett, and Matt Taven versus the conglomeration. In this case, without Mark Briscoe, but with the addition of Tomohiro Ishii. So Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Ishii. I know that this is my thing. Bill's into triple threats. I'm into party match trios matches. But this was 100% like if we had to trade Takeshita this in G1, which is a bonus, and we get Ishii like just on every Friday and Saturday night, it seems like that's a great thing. This was fucking fun as shit. Of course, sorry, I'm trying to remember who won. Who won this match?
The conglomeration actually won it.
I was going to say, of course, the United Kingdom won, or United Kingdom. I'm Mark Briscoe now. The United Undisputed Kingdom, but they did not. Yeah, that's why I was getting flustered. So yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was just a fun match. It's leaning towards Roddy and Briscoe for the pay-per-view that tens of people will enjoy next week.
Man, it's a lot of wrestling. Zach said this program was skippable, and I skipped it. I told you I watched all the wrestling. I fucking lied. I didn't watch this or Slammiversary.
Yeah.
Did you watch it, Jason?
Unprofessional bullshit.
Yeah, I'm too far.
Did you watch it, Jason?
Yes, I watched it. Ishii being in any match is, for me, a must-watch match because I miss him in the G1, so I didn't even think of the Keshta for Ishii trade until Three Beer just said it. It feels like it is, and I'm down with it. A little surprised that the conglomeration won, but you know it is what it is. Just the Undisputed Kingdom is just floundering. I mean, without Adam Cole, baby, it just feels like just another faction, and that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, and you know, there are all three of them. The three existing ones are great. Like they're really, really great professional wrestlers. So, but you know, there's a lot of guys out there. And then bookended, there's some stuff in the middle, but whatever. Bookended, there was a Lucha Brothers versus Private Party match. It was pretty good as well, and Lucha Brothers went over for that one. So, Saturday Night Collision, though, this was the kickoff to what do you call it? Like kind of like a residency, I guess you'd say, in an esports arena in Arlington, Texas. They're going to be there for like 6 weeks. I thought the show looked pretty good. It was kind of like NXT or old ROH vibes. It was just like one level of like chairs. It was kind of like an indie show, and indie shows are awesome. Like as far as like, I've never had a bad seat at an indie show. And this was like an indie show with like fantastic production value. So, but it kicked off with Darby Allin versus the Beast Mortos, which would have been one of the greatest indie matches I'd ever seen in my life if I was there. Yeah, this was, you know, Beast Mortos, formerly Toros, just a fantastic base, and Darby Allin, just a little guy just bouncing off of them, but gave the Beast Mortos a shitload, but there's no way that Beast Mortos is going to beat Darby Allin in any sense. But he did not. Got him with the coffin drop after this fucking crazy like avalanche crucifix bomb. Like that was nuts. But Darby cut a promo that people said I wasn't going to be able to walk when I'm 30. I'm 30 and I feel great. He's going to be in Blood and Guts, which is his first Blood and Guts match, which is actually kind of crazy.
Right.
Seems like he's built for it. But yeah, more to come. More to say about that. Did you guys watch this? What did you guys think?
No, I
watched nothing.
I watched it. Mortos, a.k.a. Black Taurus, just the aforementioned TNA. I watched him in TNA. I always thought he was, you know, a bigger luchador, I guess, for lack of a better term, because that's what his style feels like to me. More times than not.
100%. Yeah.
And you just don't see guys his size. Gringo Loco, we'll talk about him down the line. Guys their size don't usually do those sort of moves. So in that scenario, it was cool to see him not even trying to keep up, but keeping up with Darby Allin. But you're right. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Darby Allin was going to go over. Not the huge surprise by any stretch of the imagination, but this was a really entertaining curtain jerker for sure.
Yeah, and then Acclaimed Daddy asked backstage saying they were going to step on the Elite tiny nuts. We don't have to say any more about that. Sky Blue broke
you don't want to run down
the
Acclaimed on this point?
No. They did really good in Blood and Guts, so they exceeded expectations in the match. So I'll leave them alone. But go ahead.
No, I was going to say I was thinking about that today. I watched it the second time just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And one of the big takeaways from it was the Acclaimed, more so Anthony Bowens, really felt like he stepped up to the moment where you knew it was going to be violent and you were waiting for them to come out because they felt like they were the one sore thumb out of all 10 of these guys. These two felt like they didn't have much to add to the match. Anthony Bowens really stepped up to the plate as far as I was concerned in Blood and Guts, but we'll talk more about that in a minute.
Yeah, totally. And then Scott Blue and Hikaru Shida was short-lived. Hikaru Shida did a high cross body over the top rope, and Scott Blue collapsed and broke her ankle. That's a bummer. Sorry about Scott Blue.
I just want to I just want Shida to win. I didn't want nobody to get hurt.
Jason's fault. That was Jason's fault. He called it last night. Lance Archer was backstage beating the shit out of a whole bunch of people. I don't know why
Thank you.
He said it was time to remind everybody who he was. Basically, this is probably to build him up to lose to somebody who gets a title match.
It's just like, dude, why? Why is the random Lance Archer beatdown a thing?
Exactly for what Zach said it was for. He's going to get a paycheck.
Dude, whatever. Should have never left.
He's a professional wrestler. He's going to go
him.
be a professional wrestler. They're going to build him up for a while to lose to somebody, and that's his job.
So he's enhancement talent, essentially.
He's a professional wrestler, Jason.
Okay. All right, let's just call it for what it
Keyword professional.
God bless him, because I'd be salty as hell right about now. But go ahead.
Right. It was Jericho cut a promo on Minoru Suzuki for his match. I am with Bill last week. He said this learning tree gimmick is running long, and I was like all for it. And it's just not scratching the itch anymore. It's kind of grating and not in like a good heel way. I don't like his intonations. Like I don't like his promo delivery. I know it's over the top and it's supposed to be annoying, but it's not annoying like in a good way. I'm over it. I'm not over him and Big Bill and like the Bad Apple Brian Keith. I think that's a good group, but this I don't know. I'm over this version of Chris Jericho. If he just toned down on the voice and he was just like a dick that acted like he knew better, I think it would be better.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard, gentlemen. I'll scoot over.
Jason's like, I've been here. Jason's like, our reservation was for 2 months ago. But
guess you showing up when you want to. I'll scoot over.
Race X versus Tony Nese. This is the kind of stuff that you expect to see on AEW. Just a fun match that doesn't really amount to anything. And then FTR cut the same promo they've been cutting for the last 6 months. They were gone for a while, and then they came back and did the same shit.
Fucking chodes.
Okay, I'm gonna take this one at a time. Props to Tony Nese. You know, you rarely see him get a singles match, and he came out and had a nice little banger with Ray Phoenix. So I think we should give him some flowers.
Oh, he's a good wrestler for sure. Yeah, totally.
Just, you know, he is who he is. He's stuck in a pretty fairly shitty gimmick with the premier athletes. Okay, fine, fair enough. Okay,
they did get some TV time though, but yeah, I'm with you.
FTR coming out and cutting a promo on the Bucks and whomever, blah blah blah. Okay. I'm waiting for the Bucks to at least defend the titles. At this point, they've had them for a little bit. They lost to the Acclaimed in the title eliminator match, and we haven't had anything from that. I mean, were we just supposed to wait for this to happen before FTR and other tag teams decide they want to throw their hat in the ring? Fair. It's the same team, but damn. At some point, the Bucks need to defend the titles. They've had them for long enough to.
I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right. They shouldn't have the titles right now because they have a thing going. They could be telling a story between two other guys.
You can have the titles, but just have them. At this point, I'm waiting patiently, not even patiently anymore.
They have so many tag teams though that could be
cool. Fine, have the Bucks beat Private Party. Okay, Private Party was
honestly,
one of those
I want to see Lucha Brothers get it again.
Okay, have them.
I wouldn't even be sick of that.
I guess my point is this:
yeah, maybe
the tag team division should be a lot better. The Bucks need to be defending the titles at least once before the Acclaimed and or FTR, and we haven't seen that.
Yeah, I know that they're heels and they're also in kind of another program, but like they are the best tag team that they have. So like putting them on TV to wrestle, like I know it's their gimmick that they would not want to. So storyline, it makes sense, but like I don't know, like it would behoove the television product of the Young Bucks wrestling on television. That's why I think that they're probably going to do FTR Young Bucks again. That seems to be the kind of, FTR calling out the Young Bucks. Even though the Acclaimed beat them and they're due a title match, they'll probably get that on a random Dynamite or something, maybe even next week. But FTR is probably going to beat the Bucks for the titles at Wembley, and then, they'll at least defend them on Collision every week, because FTR, like in Collision, is kind of like their show.
Go ahead.
I don't want to see FTR versus the Bucks again. Certainly not for the titles. And
I don't want to see that at Wembley. I want to see Bucks Acclaimed at Wembley. If we're gonna drag it out, then we just drag it out.
I don't want to see that either.
Then what? Okay, then what we gonna? Then what we gonna do?
I don't know. Let me look at this roster.
I mean, damn. Okay, Lucha Brothers. We talked about Private Party at Shane Taylor Promotions. I mean, it's not like Undisputed Kingdom. It's not like it has a lot of depth, and they built teams up.
The Butcher and the Blade?
Oh, shit. Get the fuck out of here, man. Come on.
2019?
Evil
Uno and Alex Reynolds?
Okay, drag up the Dark Order.
What about fucking Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian?
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of Kip Sabian, that motherfucker.
Joey Janela and Jimmy Havoc.
Okay, so what? You going to get Luchasaurus and Kip Sabian together? I mean, come on, man. I mean, we need to pick a team. One. I don't give FTR is fine, but I'd rather have the Acclaim. We've seen FTR and the Bucks, fairly recently.
Dude,
we haven't seen Bucks and the Acclaim that much.
That's an insane take to me.
Sorry.
I do not want to see the Acclaimed at all.
Okay, that's fair, but you're not giving me any other better suggestions. You don't want to see FTR either.
I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah, FTR would be like the biggest marquee match they can make. I can see Tony being like, all right, it's a big show. Who are my two best tag teams? FTR and the Young Bucks.
What about
They've had 4 classic matches?
What about Naturally Limitless?
I think Swerve might have something to do that night. I'm just going out on the limb.
No, I'm talking about Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee.
Oh, that's right. No, Dustin's going with the Von Erichs. He's preoccupied at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, put them against the Von Erichs, and then they'll make them look like $1 million, and then they win the titles, and then they will be that good against everybody else. They had an amazing match, which again, common denominators here. Ishii versus Roderick Strong. This was fucking awesome. So fun. Just Roderick Strong just chopped the shit out of people. He's got to be the guy that chops the hardest, who's the smallest.
I say that man's got a short man complex.
We're going to talk about the G1 in a little bit, but I do miss Ishii.
Yeah.
So,
I'm happy that at least he's on AEW programming.
I was going to say, it's not like Ishii was going to, and obviously I wanted Ishii to be in every G1 as long as humanly possible. It wasn't like he was going to come over and get a bunch of points. He was going to have matches like he did against Roddy Strong, which made me want to go back and see their ROH match, which we had a younger, probably more aggressive Ishii, which is even scary to even think about. That's the match that made me want to go back. This match made me to go back and watch the previous match beforehand, because I love me some Ishii. Roddy Strong, obviously criminally underrated. I'm glad he's got some character, but once again, without Adam Cole as the head of the snake for Undisputed Kingdom, it just don't feel good.
We had the debut of Hologram, formerly known as Aramis. If you remember, he had a big feud with Ricardo Walker in the 90s. Cologne joke.
Man, wow. I totally forgot about that until you just said that. That just
They
okay.
were
Go ahead and
battling
finish.
in my dad's glove
Who do
box.
you have a feud with?
Anyway. No, I made a terrible cologne pun joke. But hologram used to be called Aramis or Aramis or whatever. And he wasn't like he had been in AEW for like a minute, and then he wasn't. And, I don't know what the deal was, but like he was wrestling Gringo Loco here, and like obviously this was like a showcase match for Hologram. Like basically, Tony Khan wants to do with Hologram what like Vince McMahon or them wanted to do with like Ricochet. They kept saying like comic book character and like like he was like a flippy guy. Gringo Loco is awesome. I've been watching him for years. MLW was when I was first introduced to him, and he is a great face. He's a great luchador, and these guys had a really great match. It wasn't anything that you haven't seen before, as far as like, we see a lot of flippy stuff, but it was very impressive. I don't know if this is going to set the world on fire, but it is fun television, and it's something that kids can get behind, a masked guy, and maybe we find they have a luchador that isn't going to lose every week in AEW.
You stole the two things that I was just going to say. Hologram doesn't feel like he stands out any more than just Commander is the first person I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Both are, same styles. Both can do all the crazy flippy shit. But ultimately, Commander feels like he's been relegated to enhancement talent. Now you bring out this guy or whatever, and they're basically doing the same thing. So I guess the problem is we got all these luchadors and they all basically can do the same, which is great, but none of them stand out more than the other because they all have the same skill set. Then you take on the fact that now they're poorly being booked. Now they're just basically luchadors that are failed to not succeed.
I think that's the exact point that I made about this a couple weeks ago, is that if you put masked guys on TV all at the same time, don't really make an effort to differentiate any one of them from the other one with a story or something, then it really fails to get any of them over. And I think that I honestly think that Penta and Phoenix have probably suffered because of it.
Oh yeah, probably more than anybody else.
Really?
They were special when AEW started. They were special.
Phoenix still is.
No doubt. This is not commentary on their ability.
Okay.
This is a commentary on how over they are.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the thing is like, just like I said, they feel like they can beat Tiffany Stratton because she's got money in the bank. Like literally, like Tony Khan feels like he can beat Ray Phoenix every single time just because he's that good and he's got the mask. Like he beats like Commander. Like he's just like, yeah, okay, you're just gonna be out there and you're gonna lose and you're gonna be awesome every time, and people are gonna love you. I hope that when Bandito comes back that they don't do that with Bandito as well, because he was about to get that treatment. Then he's been out with a broken wrist for like a year. I don't know. It's just wild.
Spoiler alert: they are going to do the same thing with him.
Dude, don't, man. I'm trying to be nice to TK, man. Don't make me get snappy, okay?
You gotta keep it real.
Come on, man. Bandito's the shit.
Gotta keep it real.
I'm an AEW sexual, but I'm keeping it real. I've said like 10 terrible things about them. This is count.
Yep.
I ain't even seen Dynamite yet.
Yeah. We report, you decide.
So Kevin Von Erich was backstage. You had the Ross and Marshall there with Dustin Rhodes. They're going to be a trio, which is kind of cool. And then we had a lumberjack match, which is, I don't know, it's very 1980s. It's not my thing. Also, it didn't seem like lumberjacks are just out there to like fight amongst themselves and get suplexed onto. Wasn't really a thing. And then Thunder Rosa, who I thought was going to get her win back over Gianna Purrazzo in like Texas, which is like a border town there, or what, and she did not.
That's some
She
dense
lost again.
booking.
Yeah, she really, it was something else. But I don't know. Do you guys have anything to say about it? I don't know. That's all I have to say.
I got nothing.
It was fine. Surprised that Purrazzo won. Tyra Valkyrie with the assist. Sure, that's not going anywhere, but you nailed it on the head. The lumberjacks or Jills, whatever you want to call them, were not doing their. Well, that's what they said at one point. I'm just like, dude, I don't just call them lumberjacks. It's fine. We get it. They weren't doing ultimately their job. It's the job to throw them back in the ring. It was more for, let's fall on, whomever this group is at any given point, which is fine. That's, a part of the AEW product. And I realize that. But, I mean, I don't know if this did either Purrazzo or Thunder Rosa any good. It was a program. I'm assuming this was the blow-off for it. I don't think anyone looks any better coming out of it. That's just me.
Lumberjill.
That's what they said.
I mean, that is what they're called.
That's what they
It's
said.
been called the Lumberjill match.
They literally said it on the.
I didn't hear it this time. I wasn't paying that much attention, though.
I gotta say, I'm very progressive. I hate it. And then we had this is some fucking shit. The Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne versus the Vindicating Game, which is Juice Robinson and the Gun, because Jay White is injured, like legit shoot injured. They couldn't, you guys were talking about this last week, they couldn't just have the match that they were going to have anyway, and just do Freebird rules and have Juice come in. No, they got to strip them of the titles so that now this match is for the titles, but no one person has the title. And then they just put the Patriarchy over anyway. Like, it would have been the same thing if they just wouldn't have stripped them. Like, why you got to strip them? Like, what's the deal? Like, just have them.
That is so dumb.
Step in. It was like, you got to take the most circuitous route to get there.
So,
like, just fucking have them have the match.
I got to ask a question, and I'm a little embarrassed to ask it. What belts are those?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think they're all of them. It was only, so whenever they handed Christian all three belts, it was just three belts. So I think it's the undisputed collective, like, belts. I hope so.
So it's the AEW
Trios titles.
ROH combined.
ROH combined, right?
Yes.
Is there another one in there?
That was the acclaimed custom made
like the scissor belts.
Yeah.
So there's only one set of trios titles between ROH and the AEW combined.
Yes.
Yeah, the Bang Bang Gang unified them.
So
but they were also carrying around literally 9 belts just to be dickheads.
Is the Is the Patriarchy wrestling at Death Before Dishonor? I'll look it up. You guys continue.
I would hope so. I mean, if you're gonna, and this is kind of the thing with AEW and ROH. I get it. It's different, quote unquote, brands or whatever. But in this scenario, if it's a unified AEW ROH title, the Patriarchy has to show up from time to time. I'm not even saying they got to be there every week, but for major pay-per-views like this for ROH, they should be on the card in some form or fashion.
They are not. You know who is though? The Beast Mortos.
Jesus Christ. Bobby Lashley's rolling over in his grave somewhere.
Ooh, this is
so anyway, that was Collision. And then Dynamite. So Dynamite opened with Alex Marvez. I know, you're like, all right, what are we going to open with? We got to think of the coolest thing in the world to get all those people that were watching whatever they were watching on TNT to continue watching with Alex Marvez.
Your biggest star.
Stop.
Yes, your biggest star. He was out there, but he was about to interview their biggest star, which is Will Ospreay, and trying to get the scoop after his loss to MJF. And this is what I was talking about. It was very old school. Was the one thing that was very old school was the heel slashed the babyface's tires, and he can't get to where he needs to go. Or he's going to be late. But this was pretty funny. Ospreay realized his tires were slashed. Asked Marvez if he had a car, and he's like, yeah, it's right there conveniently. And they had like a whole sight gag with like Marvez throwing his bag, through the back window, which was conveniently down, and then getting in and asking Ospreay if he was ever driven in America, and he says, nope. And then Marvez like screams into the microphone and they speed off. It was pretty good. Pretty fun. But that was opening up with MJF made his ring entrance. He had cheerleaders. He had a suit on. Basically called Ospreay a gutless coward because he wouldn't do the Tiger Driver. Then he beat him without breaking a sweat. Easiest match of his life. Quickly and efficiently. I tell you what,
I can think of nothing more. I can think of nothing more heelish than saying that you're going to be buried next to your grandmother, but they have to bury you far away because she's so fat. Like, that's such a weird insult. That's such an odd insult. Like, your fat grandma is dead? Like, come on, man.
He called her a skank, too. He said, Lord knows that fat skank needs all the ribs she can get.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I'm like,
Jesus
wow.
Christ.
just when I thought I heard everything. Nope. MJF brings up something new.
Dude, he said all this, and I was like, I loved MJF as a face, and then I was like, holy shit. He is so much better as a heel.
Yes.
This is so good.
It's not even close. I'd say I'm glad we saw the face run. It was cute. It had its moments. I'm sorry. Don't ever do that again. There's no reason in the world for MJF to ever be a baby face as far as I'm concerned. Adam Cole, baby.
The thing is, it's going to have to happen sometimes. Like, heels have to turn babyface if they're good enough, because eventually, the people come back to him, and it'll happen again.
Okay, he did it. From my perspective, I don't want him to do it anytime soon. How about that? Only thing I didn't like about this whole thing, this fucking belt. It's bad enough there's 15 of these motherfuckers running around. You can't have a design like that. That shit was ugly. Ugly as fuck.
I think that's the point, though.
I'll go on record for the 100th time that I do not give a fuck what belts look like.
Shit.
Just do not care. It just doesn't even register in my brain.
Shit.
I never even think about it.
Shit.
My first thought was, oh, they're doing this to make him an even bigger heel at Wembley, and that's
Obviously.
smart. So, yeah, I know, but, I'm cool with it.
God awful.
I got to say, the way a belt looks is probably 80% of how I feel about it.
I mean, I know we've talked about this before. That's unbelievable. This colorful tapestry of life.
When Swerve came down in the main event and was wearing the title, that motherfucker was, round his waist, looking good, made him look good. I was like, shit.
You could show me 3 tiles, I wouldn't be able to pick it out.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I swear to God. Unless it says AEW on it. Even then, I'd be like, well, I don't
know. Who's the champion again? Go ahead, here.
But yeah, I think the point of the belt being ugly is to be a heelish, because it was funny because he did all this and dropped fucking he pulled it off, and it's supposed to be because he's a big heel. It's like, I got this ugly ass belt. I'm replacing this very beautiful international title. It's actually been pretty decently renowned as far as there's so many belts in AEW, but that one's held a good amount of prestige. It's like Orange Cassidy, John Moxley, Ray Phoenix for a brief minute, the concussed John Moxley, and, Will Ospreay and JF. Start out with Pac. It's been a good lineage. But he pulls off this fucking ugly ass belt, and fans just start chanting, USA! USA! And granted, they're in Texas, but brother, no, I don't think that's the reaction.
No, they were in Nashville, right?
Yeah, it was Nashville.
It's Wednesday. Well, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, he'll get it over.
Yes. And I texted you guys and I said this belt looks like it got a DUI on its way out of DC on January 6th, and that's accurate.
Shit. You ain't even lying, boy. I could totally see somebody rolling around that motherfucker on January 6th. Like, what's America?
Walking through the halls of Congress. Somebody had to be wearing a belt, right? Somebody had to have a fucking replica.
Yes. The U.S. title.
Oh, yeah.
Something.
U.S. title belt, yeah.
Somebody was running around that mess with a title of some sort,
yep.
U.S. or otherwise. I'm telling you, there's no way it was not wrestling.
It was Elizabeth Warren.
We had Chris Jericho versus Minoru Suzuki, which is the AARP section of Dynamite.
Stop.
But it was definitely really good. Like, they just chopped each other for, like, a long time, and then they went to commercial, and they came back, and they were still chopping each other. And Jericho's chest is bleeding. It's, like, already indented, and it's just bleeding.
Yeah, it's fucking concave chest.
Yeah, Suzuki fucked his ass up. if there was anything I took away from that, Suzuki fucked his ass up.
Man, if Jericho laid on the ground on his back during a rainstorm outside, when the rainstorm was done, a dog could walk by and use his chest as a bowl.
Stop.
And be like hydrated for the whole afternoon.
Yeah, it would just keep coming back.
I'd say, let that man's chest go, man. It took some serious damage.
I'll go out on a limb here. This sucked.
It was fine. It was very reminiscent of Tai Chi and Kota Ibushi, their G1 match when it was all chicks.
It was not reminiscent of that.
That's the only thing that was reminiscent about it.
Watching two athletes in the prime of their life and an unbelievable athletic feat versus two old guys stumble around the ring, fucking hitting each other in the chest. It looked like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I said it was similar, reminiscent.
It was.
I didn't say it was great.
Yeah, it was alright.
Okay, there you go.
That's like one of my favorite matches of all time, and you're like, it was kind of like that. It's like, no, it wasn't. I mean, I see what you're saying.
Oh shit! So Bryan Danielson is talking to Renee Paquette, and Jeff Jarrett interrupts and steals the show. Jeff Jarrett is like one of the best things in AEW in the year 2024. I hated him as a heel whenever I was a 10-year-old child in 1995. And I was like, this guy sucks. I hate him. And
Sounds
he
like
is
me in
just the best
2024.
babyface. He's just the best babyface. He's been so good with this Owens stuff.
So when I was watching this, so Jarrett comes out and says the inspirational shit to Brian, and he walks away, and Renee was like, how did that make you feel? Like, I just wanted Dan Bryan to turn to her and be like, did he stop taking his meds again?
The fuck is that?
Like, just imagine like a guy that's off his meds just sitting down for no reason next to Bryan Danielson, unleashing the shit on him. It's like, okay,
the fuck is that guy?
All right, dude. Thanks for the pep talk. It's like, I barely know him.
I say, chill the fuck out. I don't know. This just seems so right field for me. I'm still, I guess, in the throes of Jeff Jarrett being the heel and having this over-the-top heel faction or whatever the case may be. So now him trying
the Juggalos?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or ICP, whatever you want to fucking call him. I mean, I'm used to that. So now him trying to be the baby face, I mean, I would be lying if I said I wasn't skeptical. I'm not saying that he's, in cahoots with Swerve, but wouldn't be a surprise to me if for whatever reason Jeff Jarrett does Bryan Danielson dirty in that title match at Wembley where it helps Swerve get the dub, and then you have something going on with Jeff Jarrett and Danielson. I could easily be wrong, and it could be just me being skeptical. Very much could be the case.
That's the most paranoid shit I've ever heard.
Hey, man, look. Man, look, you can trust Jeff Jarrett if you want to. Shit. That motherfucker is a born-again heel. Always has been. I don't trust that motherfucker for shit, okay?
Jeff Jarrett going to be Bryan Danielson's... Jeff Jarrett going to be Bryan Danielson's retirement match.
Good. Wouldn't be a surprise, man. Shit.
I mean...
Crack his head over.
They're great worked punches.
Quick side note.
They could have that match when they're both 80. And they can just throw worked punches, and you'd probably be better than that Suzuki match.
That's what I was going to say. It'd be better than Suzuki Jericho.
Did anybody else hear the and I haven't even looked to see if this was fact or not, but I just wanted to hear if anybody else heard this or not. Danielson's contract ends on August 1st. Anybody else hear that?
I don't know.
Okay. I was listening to a different podcast this morning or whatever. And
How dare you?
Yeah, well, every now and then.
Unprofessional bullshit.
And I thought they said something to the effect of Danielson's contract ended on August the 1st of this year.
I don't see Danielson ever leaving AEW. I think, honestly, I feel like Tony Khan probably has it in his will that Bryan Danielson just gets the company.
No, I'm not saying that I'm not talking about him leaving, but if this is like,
he's going back sometime.
If this is like the farewell tour and it was going to be a year, A, a year has gone by pretty goddamn fast, and B, more importantly, it kind of feels like you can't give Danielson the title at Wembley? Question mark?
Oh, I think he's winning. I think that's the only reason he's in the match. Otherwise, you just would have had Hangman be in the match.
Man, I have not thought that far out. The thing is, he might just keep extending this farewell tour, and he might just be like, I'm going to lose to Swerve, and then they'll have him win it sometime down the road.
He's going to Terry Funk it.
I really, man.
No.
I have a hard time saying that he's going to beat Swerve.
I got a hard time saying that Swerve's going to beat him.
Well, you know how we always used to say, I'll bet against Gunther. I'm going to lose on betting on Gunther one of these days, but it's not going to be today. It's like I might as well just ride him and just keep picking him. It's like just keep picking Danielson to lose. He don't win.
That's true.
Wow.
But I feel like this is such a big I feel like that's the only reason he's in this match is to win. And granted, I know, marquee value, he is one of their biggest names, but otherwise, I feel like they would have put Ospreay or Hangman or somebody in there if it was just to lose. I don't know. My money's on Danielson. Finally winning the big one.
Yeah.
Then I think it's going to be a short reign, and I could actually see him losing it back to Swerve at Wrestle Dream in Seattle. That's right afterwards.
I think it's in October, September, October.
Yeah. And Seattle's Swerve's a Washington guy. I can see it just going right back on him.
I could totally see that too. Now that you said that would make sense. I would be acceptable with that. At least Swerve would win it back, and ultimately he would get the win off of Danielson that I would want him to get at Wembley. So if that was the scenario, I would be okay with that.
Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida. Nobody broke their ankle here. That was good.
Stop.
But kind of surprising considering how tall Mercedes fucking heels were. I would have broke my fucking ankle if I was in those motherfuckers. And the only reason I bring that up is because Britt Baker beats Hikaru Shida. Mercedes comes down, looking like $1 million. And Camille debuts, kicks the shit out of Britt, high boot. She's big, badass Camille. She's, her whole gimmick is that she's like a new Jade, right? So then just big, muscly, tall, woman. And then Mercedes, her heels are so tall that she gets in the ring with her and she's her big heater, but she's as tall as Mercedes. She's fucking heels on. You couldn't wear flats for one day. What kind of professional wrestler are you? You know what I mean? It's professional wrestling. In that 1 hour match, I had so much time to look at MJF and I was looking at those guys for a whole hour. I looked at them for a whole hour. It was great. But I noticed in that match, MJF wears platform boots. His boots are probably 2-3 inches taller than, to make him taller because he's a fucking pro wrestler. Like,
oh, I get what you're saying.
Understands it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Camille should look way taller than Mercedes. She should just fucking tower over her.
Hey, I got a quick question.
She did not.
Who is Camille?
Ding!
I
know the answer.
It's not her first
answer, but
this is not her first AEW. Like, this is not her AEW debut. But she was on NWA. Like, that was like her big thing. She was like NWA champion. She's also Braun Strowman's ex-girlfriend.
What's her name? Camille in NWA?
yes.
It's been Camille ever since I've seen her for like the last few years. Everywhere she's gone.
Okay.
She was obviously Nick Aldis's heater when he was the NWA champion.
Oh, yeah.
That was when we were at StarCast. If you remember that, she was a part of that build. Her and
I remember him having a chick.
Okay, that was Camille. So she ended up becoming the NWA Women's Champion. I believe she's been the longest reigning Women's Champion, still holds the record to this point. Obviously has dropped the title and has been signed to AEW for quite some time. I would say at least 6 months, probably longer than that. Okay, so I guess all that being said is, I guess, part of the problem with the packaging of Camille. If Bill doesn't know who she is, then that's kind of a problem because you have all this massive talent, but you're not introducing them to a point where now when you drop them in, it's like, oh, there's so-and-so.
Her hanging out with Mercedes is going to make her a big deal.
They've had her under contract Bill.
But that means they have plans for her.
This was
You don't want
months
to only get
ago.
paid for 6 months? You can get paid for 6 months and just sit at home? You don't want to do it? Like, is she mad about it? Why would you be?
But the problem now is you have people saying, who is this person?
You want to beat some dude's dogs for a paycheck? You want to sit at home?
Man, that joke would never die. It's funny as hell. Why do I have to be black sometimes? I just don't like the way that this was done. It's clear that she's going to be Mercedes' heater, but the only reason I would have known who Camille was is because I watched so much wrestling. If you only have so much time and here comes this tall chick, you're like, who the fuck is this? And they're like, oh, it's Camille. You're like, okay, great. Well, who the fuck is Camille? I get what you're saying, but it should be done better. That's all I'm saying. You got this talent. You got the production. You got ways to do it. Characters should be introduced better than this. This is classic Tony surprise, but if you don't watch all the wrestling, then you don't know who this person is.
Put them both in the elite. Mercedes and Camille.
Fine.
Totally.
Fine. No problem with that. That would be she would become the China of the elite. I would work with that.
They would both be the ivory of the elite.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No! Never mind. Go ahead, Dreamier.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying as far as introducing characters. In this instance, whenever you just have like a big person come in as a heater, I think kicking that, like beating down your main woman star, like just kicking the shit out of her is a great introduction. I think it's introduction enough.
Great start.
Like we didn't have an introduction to like Kane, and he just came in and just murdered the Undertaker. And you're like, oh fuck, who is this guy? Like, I don't know, we found out eventually. And it turned out he's a fucking terrible person, is what we found out.
Mason Ryan.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Maybe I just hold Camille in a higher standard where I think she should have been introduced better. That's just me.
All right.
I'm burying the lead here. I probably should have led with this. I apologize. But Pac faced Boulder.
Yep.
And he had Bronson and Jack James.
That's my dog.
Yeah, I know. This probably should have been the one.
I know. Give him some mic time.
It probably should have been the one count, but this lasted about as long as the one count. It was a minute. And yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So
yeah.
is Pac is the number one contender for the international title, right?
Yeah.
So how does Will Ospreay get the first crack at it? I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, are we not even
if
going to
he-
discuss that?
Didn't
I mean,
I was wondering, is the match like with Wembley? Like, I know we say it's like for the title because MJF has it, or is it just a match because he wants a match with MJF and like MJF is going to have to defend and face Pac at Wembley? Or sorry, not at Wembley, but before Wembley. I thought Pac would be wrestling at Wembley because he is Pac and he's,
well, he's talking about
European.
his Wembley moment. You're not going to ruin my Wembley
Exactly.
moment. So this felt like the Wembley moment, and now it feels like we're going to get an MJF Ospreay rematch, which I would obviously not going to say no to. But what's up with that?
You're always on the worker's side. You don't like when guys get wronged.
Well, I mean, damn, just in kayfabe style, Pac won the
Maybe
match.
it's going to be a Pac Boulder
Stop.
rematch.
Stop. No.
I am with you. I feel like even though I've enjoyed everything that's happened, I feel like the Ospreay booking leading into Wembley has been derailed, and it's actually derailed to other shit because he's not in the title picture. I feel like the easiest thing in the world is just to put him in the fucking ring with Swerve, and then you wouldn't have the Bryan Danielson thing. You wouldn't MJF could be wrestling Pac for the international title at Wembley, and maybe even lose. I don't know. That would be cool. That would be a great match. I'm with you. It all seems convoluted. Where is Pac in this? He's in the same boat as the Acclaimed right now.
Ouch. And that ain't good.
Yeah, he's due for a title match, but he probably ain't going to get it at the biggest show of the year. And it's worse for Pac because that's his fucking home turf,
I'm not sure how you can not have him on this show. If it's triple threat,
exactly.
then so be it. Then okay, but
He's
somehow
going to be on the show.
that's crazy talk.
He wasn't on last year because he broke his face. Remember, he was supposed to be on, and he wasn't able to be on last year. So
how you gonna give Saraya the title but not put Pac on the show?
I mean,
well, he broke his hand. He was injured last year.
No. I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about when we did it the first time around. Saraya won the title. Yeah. So this year you can't even have Pac on the show. We can't make a triple threat match.
I mean, he might be. I'm just saying, it's we're not there yet. So
No,
I was
Bill's
in
just
judgment
basically
until we are
saying
there.
no.
listen, it's not ideal, but it also doesn't seem. I mean, it just doesn't seem all that surprising to me, I guess.
Wow. Okay.
It says, again, it's nothing about his ability. It's just, there's just might not be room for him on the show, or what match, or it's going to be some sort of multi-man.
Then that's just poor booking to me.
And there's going to be a multi-man.
He's the Dean Malenko of AEW.
Man, that's wrong on so many levels. Why you short shaming that man?
He's just the best worker, but just nobody cares.
Yep.
Damn. Wow.
I'm not even saying that's right. But what else? Oh yeah, we had Mariah May won a match, and then Toni Storm came out. This was much better than the previous week because we actually got Mariah and Toni interacting and in the ring together. So this is going to be hot. What's your guys' over under on? Well, maybe not even in this. It'll probably be in the Mercedes Brett. Jamie Hayter returning at Wembley, big return at Wembley, maybe facing down Camille. Too many bitches slapping meat.
You said Jamie Hayter?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I would love to see Jamie Hayter come back. Obviously, injury derailed what was a meteoric rise. I'm not holding my breath for Jamie Hayter anytime soon. If she comes back, I'll be extremely pleased. But from all I'm hearing, it's close, but not imminent.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it. But I will say about this segment that Toni Storm's appearance was short but intense. It was good. It was in character, too.
Oh, yeah. This is good
I wish
shit.
they wouldn't went black and white on her, but we saw the scar, which is, the symbol of the feud. So in that scenario, I'm good with it.
Mm-hmm.
I did see, apparently, I don't know, it's on Reddit or whatever, but apparently RJ City has had a lot to do with the Toni Storm thing. Like, obviously, it's a collaboration. Tony has a lot to do with the Tony thing. Tony Khan has a lot to do with it. And RJ City. They're like the three people that really are the brainchild of this Toni Storm gimmick. And RJ City used to annoy me when he was like pre-show guy, and then like he won me over in the pre-shows, and he's won me over with a lot of his interview segments and stuff. RJ City, quietly a very good AEW hire. But we had Blood and Guts. This was Jack Perry, Young Bucks, Kazuchika Okada, and Hangman versus Swerve Strickland, Darby Allin, The Acclaimed, and Mark Briscoe. A motley crew of individuals has not been coalesced since the last time Jeff Jarrett decided to make a stable. But this was long. It was bloody. It was gutsy. Okada did fucking nothing. This was pretty much exactly what you would expect.
A little bit, like towards the end when shit was starting to go towards the team AEW side. I was like, where the fuck is Okada at? I see Matt Jackson. Obviously, Jack Perry's being fucking crucified on the damn the cage or whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then, like, you didn't see, like, Nick was gone, Okada was gone. You obviously Hangman and Swerve took the bullet, so you saw that. Like the others, especially Okada, and that's kind of been my, just. It's not even the fact that Okada left New Japan. That's fine. Go get your money. I ain't mad about that. Just this is not the Okada that I want to see in AEW. He's a title holder, but it's not even really a title. He's in a match like this, and he has funny spots, but it's not like he's the Rainmaker. I don't know. Just the Okada part kind of bothered me a little bit.
He does not break a sweat. Like, the last time I saw him break a sweat was in the Pac match in St. Louis at Dynasty, which was legitimately great. But even then, he wrestled very deliberately. Like, he could have, just freshened up and just, got into a cab, and, the cab driver would not even have, recognized that he had done any physical activity that day.
Yeah, it kind of feels like
good of condition.
It kind of feels like he's just freshening up right now. Like, he's taking it easy. He is probably getting back to 100%. He's not really doing that much, and we're going to see him in some huge matches.
Okay.
Yeah, Omega's going to come back, and they're going to blow our fucking dicks off.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
My big takeaway from Blood and Guts is I think that Jack Perry is just great. I think that he's awesome. And I think
he was so good in this match.
And I think the Acclaimed are just fucking dog shit. I really do. Just fucking.
Anthony Bowens can't get any love for the scissors. Literally jabbing said Jack Perry.
I mean,
they overachieved in this match. But
without question,
I have no expectations.
I don't even think that's a thought. Max Caster is who he is. Okay, that's fine. If you want to shit on him, so be it. He wasn't really that much of a factor in this. Anthony Bowens took that fall into the 4 fucking tables. He had the leg shit wrapped around his fucking leg, did that shit, and then took a bump before that. And then the scissors move. I mean, come on. You got to at least give him some credit. Some. I'm not saying he was the MVP of this motherfucker, but
he's a professional wrestler.
Oh, Jesus Christ almighty.
He certainly is a professional wrestler.
Wow.
What do you guys think about the baby face, the biggest baby face in the match, threatening to light a man on fire and murder him unless He got a title match, the biggest match and the biggest show of the year, as well as that's not good enough. You also need to quit right now, and we win the match. That was like, I get it. Like, the fans cheering was insane to me. This was terrifying if you look at it in a non-kayfabe sensibility. Like, you're about to witness a man be immolated, not even self-immolated, which is terrifying enough. But, like, I've seen people in self-immolation videos, like the protesters and stuff, and that's terrifying. I've never Googled or tried to find, like, a person being burned alive. That's the worst. And people were very into it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's asking a big bump of Jack Perry to get burned alive. Like, I could probably see Darby.
Darby, probably. Okay.
I could probably see Darby doing it. Yeah, it's pretty silly. It's pretty fucking silly.
But with the rules set in place, it's, okay. I mean, it's going to take something.
It's a means to an end.
Yeah, it's a means to an end. It gets this match taken care of. But ultimately, with everything that happened, this is how this match is going to probably have to end. Somebody's getting ready to die.
I loved the coffin drop off the top of when hanging off the
couch. That shit. That
was really cool.
I rewound it and brought my kids into the ring to show them.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I'm like, watch this.
No, it's and that's the beauty of Darby Allin. God bless him for it. One of the AEW's bigger stars, no question about it. Ultimately, I guess this for my biggest takeaway is it was not like Anarchy in the Arena, but it was still entertaining enough where it didn't feel like it was an hour, but it did feel like it in certain points. If this was just to make the TNT title match, we probably didn't have to do it, but
it
was still entertaining enough to where I'm like, okay, when you got Swerve and Hangman staring each other down, I would be lying if I didn't scoot up in my chair a little, be like, oh shit, it's getting ready to get ugly. So
yeah, it was a great TV match. So thinking about it in that context, yes, and also I love the fact that Page was very much into his character, and he was only after Swerve to the point where he was just only going to beat the shit out of him until he was threatened to get fired by his former best friend. Like, I still love all that. Like, they've done, like, the Elite, the original Elite, and then they did the breakup, and then we had, like, legitimately the greatest tag team match of all time between Omega, Page, and the Young Bucks, and then we had, like, a reunion, and then we had like, another breakup. And I'm just, like, ready for, like, the babyface reunion again at this point, like, a year down the road. But these guys, it was fun. I just didn't love it. It seemed a little anticlimactic with that, and that doesn't scream babyface to me, burn you alive. But anyway.
Hey, man, you pissed them motherfuckers off.
I mean, it is anticlimactic because the only way to be climactic there is to actually set them on fire. So it had to be kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, I was going to say no payoff on that.
All right, we're going to keep it moving. Let's get to that 3 count.
They said, what? They put them on fire? God damn.
Got a lot of stuff to talk about here.
Sorry, I just realized how much we talked about AEW, and I apologize for that if I egged any of that on.
No.
G1 is like the G1.
So the G1 started, and we've had 4 nights of it. I'm taking that everybody's caught up.
Yes, I've watched it all.
Okay,
I watched the first 3. I just realized that they had one last night. So I've watched a couple of those matches, but feel free to expound on them.
Okay, well then, what we're gonna do you guys want to start with the better block or just the good block? Which one do you guys want to start with?
I'm scared to say which one you think is the better block.
Okay, well, let's start with the good block. And it's not saying block A is bad, but block B is the one that I think I want to talk about more. How about that?
Fair.
We usually go night by night, but I think this time what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about each wrestler, and we'll talk about the 3 matches they had, and that might. But anyway, sitting atop of block B with 6 points, undefeated at 3-0, is Yuya Uemura. He has so far taken out Finley. He took out Goto, and last night in the main event, he took out Konosuke Takeshita in a certified banger.
Oh my god, I thought that match was fucking awesome.
Yeah, and a little surprising. Sorry to spoil it for you, Zach, but a little surprising that Yuya went over, I think. But the match fucking ruled. Jason, what do you think about Yuya Uemura's first 3 matches thus far?
Obviously, one of the surprises of the first 4 nights in total. I didn't expect Uemura to definitely beat Takeshita. But as the match unfolded, you can kind of see how the injuries throughout the match kind of piled up on Takeshita, and you had the suplex finish for the win. Goto, bit of a surprise there too, especially Goto being Mr. G1. But I was thinking to myself, this would be a good time for Uemura to go over. Good shit there. The biggest surprise was just right out the gate. The first night was like 3 or 4 upsets, and Uemura was one of the bigger ones, beating David Finlay when David Finlay felt like, at least in my mind, he's one of the guys that should be in the midst of this whole thing. He's a global heavyweight champion. Boom, Uemura defeats him. So that was one of the big upsets on night 1. So Uemura is, to me, one of the bigger surprises, especially just dropping the KOPW title to Great O'Khan, and now having this hot start to start.
From here on out, I will only refer to him as Yuya because it is a hard name to say, and I just watched Jason struggle with it 4 times. It's like we're just going with Yuya from now on. Zach, what do you think about Yuya's G1 thus far?
I'm stoked to watch that Takeshita match, but the Finlay match was one of the better matches of the tournament, and there's been some very good matches so far in the first 3.5 nights that I watched. But hell yeah, Yuya Uemura was always of the 4 pillars of the new school with him, Yota Tsuji, Shota Umino, and Ren Narita. He was always my guy as like the A number 1. Yota Tsuji seems to have like kind of eclipsed him so far as charisma, and he's been put in better positions. But I still think that Yuya has the juice, and he is going to be he's going to be one of those guys. He's going to be IWGP champion for sure. In the near future.
Well, let's just slide down to Takeshita, who is. Did I skip you?
No.
Oh, let's skip down to, or not skip down. He is next in line. Takeshita has 4 points. He lost to Yuya in the previously mentioned match. He beat Yota Tsuji in the first night, and he beat Jeff Cobb, which was, listen, Takeshita is everything that we wanted from him and more in these first 3 matches. He has come off like a star, and if I'm New Japan, I am throwing the fucking bank at him. He could be like their Okada going forward. He could be their main star.
He could be their Okada now.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't need anything. He can be that now. He's the best. He's the best guy in the tournament, and I feel like everybody knows it. Like, he gets such good reactions, and he's had such good matches.
Yep.
He's the best guy in the fucking tournament.
Yep. And credit where it's due, and then we'll get to you, Jason. But I don't remember Jason being this way. Maybe you were, but I know that Zach has been all over Takeshita's jock since he showed up. So, kudos where it's due. But
no, I was about to say, I'm the same way, too. I was going to say.
What do you think?
I'm kind of mad that he's not the international champion. I mean, he went to Japan for the G1, but then had a match in between G1 matches in DDT. How can you not have Takeshita not be the international champion? Blows my mind. He wants to travel back over to Japan. Why not make that happen? Still don't get it. The fact that Tony Khan hasn't made him more of a star after beating beating Omega twice, it still blows my mind.
I mean, after these first 3 matches, aren't you sitting there being like, I would much rather have Takeshita in New Japan than I have him in AEW?
Oh, without question.
Yeah,
he just feels he's the same
That's
guy,
also
but
a
he
little
feels
bit
different.
because New Japan. It's almost because New Japan doesn't have many people, and AEW has too many people.
Yeah,
New Japan is a desert these days.
He could be their huge Japanese star, man.
Without question, and he already has the the English audience to the point where you know him. If this is going to be a crossover guy, that's the guy it should be. Takeshita is just amazing, and every match so far has been must watch. He's throwing Jeff Cobb around, for Christ's sake.
Hanare got
that match was about the best 10 minutes you can fucking ask for.
Yep.
And I've had some good 10 minutes in my life, but that's one of the best.
Hanare with 4 points. Hanare beat ELP in night 1. He defeated Oleg Bolton, or Bolton Oleg. I never say it right. In the second match, and last night he last night he lost to David Finlay. Jason, what do you think about Hanare thus far?
Good start for Hanare, especially him being the never openweight champion. You need to at least push him, build him up to look like a champion. Losing to David Finlay isn't the worst thing in the world. It's the global heavyweight title feels like it's a little more important. Plus, David Finlay was scoreless at that time, so losing there isn't the worst thing in the world. Beating Oleg is a good thing because obviously Bolton Oleg is one of the guys he should beat. Beating ELP, to me, it's more about ELP and the way his character is being portrayed so far, but that was still a good match as well. ELP coming back, and we can talk about him at some point down the line. But yeah, this is a good start for Hanare. It's promising. I'll go that far.
Zach?
Yeah, Hanare is dope. Yeah, nice to see him look strong in this. I'm looking forward to more of his matches.
Then we have Ren Narita with 4 points. I guess I have one of these written down wrong. He lost to Oleg Bolton in the first night. Remember that. Did he lose to ELP? No, he beat ELP. That's where I have it wrong. So he beat ELP, and then he beat Jeff Cobb last night in like a finish that actually, I got mad at.
Yep.
I marked out at.
Yep.
I was like, "Fuck this." What do you think about? Because that was a good match, and they were telling a story that Jeff Cobb just had no respect for Ren Narita and just was tossing him around. That fucking what did he give him? He gave him the F5 and fucking tossed his ass halfway across the ring. And Callum Newman was on commentary, and he fucking pops.
Yeah.
Dude, Callum Newman was a lot of fun on commentary because he was loving it. He was having a lot of fun.
I love the wrestlers on commentary.
I do too, man. I love it. I love ELP. What do you think about Narita thus far, Jason?
Not a lot of House of Torture interference. That's more so for Evil, but still kind of the same old story, especially the Jeff Cobb match today. Ren Narita can go. We see that. I'm not saying he's the best of the bunch, but he has talent. But ultimately, it comes down to the fuckery.
Oh, my God. Do I have a hot take for you coming up?
Go ahead.
I can't wait. No, I'll wait for it. I just remembered it, though. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, Ren Narita, I am pleasantly surprised that they're doing less House of Torture shit with him, but it's always there for sure. But yeah, he will get his day. He'll, of those four, he's probably at the bottom, but that's still, they got to get all those guys there, and he's just in that slot where he's in the House of Torture, and that's just his spot. It's high profile, but it suffers.
And then we got 6 guys tied up at 2. We have Godo with 2. He lost to Jeff Cobb. He lost to Yuya, and then last night he beat Oleg Bolton. Zach, what do you think about Godo?
All great matches, though. Godo, he's won. He won from the past. He's that guy who's going to give you a fantastic fucking match. Like, he's a sleeper hit for sure. He's probably in that Ishii role this year,
Yeah.
And stands out a little bit more without Ishii in there. But, like, all 3 of these matches were awesome.
Yeah.
The Oleg Bolton, like, he did this thing where he did, like, a triple gainer gut wrench. Like, it was fucking insane.
No, that's what Bolton Oleg does. I mean, he throws everybody around, and that.
But still, Godo's he's not a little
he's not
guy.
small. No,
he's not.
And guess what? Don't matter. I'm throwing him around too.
He's full. He's a full dude.
Okay. Bolton Oleg's going to be the real deal.
Speaking of Bolton Oleg, he's also got 2 points. Where you at on Bolton Oleg, Jason?
No, like I said, he's the real deal.
You like his new look?
It's okay. I mean, it's not a young lion look, so it's a start.
He's dressed like Maggie from Northern Exposure.
If you want to dig into your roots,
I love it, by the way.
I just think he has the nice blend of power and can do some agility in the ring, where now he brings a different kind of flavor to this thing. He's kind of Jeff Cobb-ish.
I loved him and Hinare, dude.
Yeah, it was a banger match. Him and Goto was a banger match. I mean, Oleg is going to be just fine.
Thoughts on Oleg, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, he's not in there to win a bunch of matches, but he will be a formidable gaijin for sure. Like, New Japan needs guys like him, and he can learn a lot while he's in that realm, and he'll be better for it, and he'll probably get a big payday eventually when he goes somewhere else.
Now, I know, Jason, I'm getting ready to give you some bad news, but next up we have Jeff Cobb with only 2 points. Jason, what do you think about that? It makes you sad.
I don't get it. I mean, and this is still very early, so I mean, obviously Jeff Cobb can go on a run, but I guess we forget he's the current television champion. He's beaten, Okada. I've never understood why Jeff Cobb hasn't been presented as more of a force in.
Even when he ran the fucking table, he didn't make it to the finals.
So I don't know. It's just disappointing that if he left tomorrow, I would be pissed, but I wouldn't blame him because it feels like he's hit his ceiling, which is crazy.
Zach, give us some good news about Jeff Cobb.
I can't wait to see him losing on AEW television.
Stop.
El Phantasmo got 2 points. ELP lost to Hinare. ELP lost to Narita. And then ELP beat Yotasuji last night. I have really been... This is the kind of upset that's just perfect. I just fucking love it. It's like you don't really see it coming.
Nope.
But when it happens, you're like, oh, that's cool. That's the G1.
Yep.
Shit like this can happen in the G1. ELP has been having a great tournament thus far. He's been mega fun to watch. I'm a big fan.
They had a kick-ass match last night, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess the only thing I don't like is it just goes back to the whole Hikuleo non-payoff of Hikuleo leaving. I get it. Maybe he just can't have a payoff match or whatever the case may be. But damn, man, you build up Hikuleo and then he just walks, and now you have to kind of make this ELP brokenhearted storyline, which ultimately has worked so far. He got the win against Yotasuji, but I don't know. I don't like the fact that there wasn't a payoff for the Hikuleo.
I've been trying to come up with a joke for weeks about what ELP stands for, if the LP stands for Logan Paul, because he looks like a little Logan Paul, but I can't think of a word that starts with an E. So the joke never came together. I was like, Elf? Logan Paul?
Electronica?
Okay, there's a start. I mean, his jacket does have electricity to go with it.
Here's a surprising one. Yotasuji sitting at 2 points. Yotasuji lost to ELP. He lost to Takeshita. No shame there. And he beat David Finlay in the main event of night 2. What do you think about Yotasuji's tournament thus far, Zach?
Great matches all around and kind of surprising, but, he's also one of those LIJ guys where, he's a fan favorite, have him lose early, get him up at the end. They've been doing that with Naito for, I don't know, at least the last 5 years. It's happened 6 years since I watched D1. And, but he's having really great matches, and I think he is a favorite to win.
Jason?
The New Japan Cup winning it just is still in my head. I know he's going to have good matches, going to have great matches. The Takeshita match was all that I thought it would be, and then some. I don't really feel like he's a credible threat because he's had his moments. I think Yuri Uemura has stepped up, obviously. He's having his moment. I think it would be more so for time to get Uemura his moment before Soji has his next moment. Ospreay and him having that match, an amazing moment. He had a title match against Naito. Not a great match, but still a moment to itself. And we went in New Japan Cup to get that match. So, I mean, it's probably just not going to be his time. He's just going to go out and have really good to great matches.
Doesn't look like he's really a calorie counter, does it?
Hell no, shit.
No.
But he's still jumping over the top ropes like it ain't
I think
shit.
Homeboy likes to eat.
Damn Skippy. I ain't mad at you, dog.
And then finally, David Finlay with 2 points. He lost to Yuya. He beat Hanare, and he lost to Yota Tsuji. What do you think about David Finlay, Jason?
I don't get it. I'm not saying it because I haven't been in the final against ZSJ. I mean, you build up Finlay, then you break him down. You build up Finlay, you break him down. At some point, aren't you supposed to push David Finlay? I mean, damn, this is the guy that, beat down Jay White. Are we just forgetting about? I don't know. His matches are good. Just the booking just is New Japan booking as of late. It really doesn't make sense. Even if we watch it for, as long as if I have to watch it, the length of the podcast. So, 6-7 years, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, in that scenario, I just don't get it. He's a title holder, so treat him as such. The loss early on, that's not a big deal. It's to Uemura. So, at that point, yeah, put Uemura over. But, I mean, even before that, he doesn't feel like he's been, built up strong the way a top Gaijin heel should be. So, it is what it is. It's just, weird to see him booked in this way.
Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I reserved judgment for a little while. I've had good matches, but I know that they, the title history of that is a little convoluted, and that seems to be the number 2 title in the company, but it's been a little bit of a rough
1 week since you looked at me.
But I really like David Finlay. I just don't know if he's that guy. He feels like evil with the main title whenever he's got the secondary title. It's like they're pushing him, but I don't know if he's that guy. He's really good.
He's really good. I'm going to say something, and I don't know if you guys will take this as a slight or as a compliment, but he is a WWE wrestler. He would be he is made for WWE sports entertainment type stuff.
Oh, yeah, just like Tama Tonga, he would slide in there and be one of their best guys.
Yeah, it would. Yeah,
I don't take that as a slight to anyone for that matter.
Man from Ringside.
Let's move over to Block A. We have 2 guys sitting atop Block A. Zack Sabre Jr. with 6 points. ZSJ has beaten the Great Okan. He beat, that was a really cool match, actually. What was it? No, not Naito. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Callum Newman is the one that I liked a whole bunch. What do you think about Zack Sabre Jr.'s tournament thus far, Zach?
We knew it was going to be a pleasure to watch. He definitely still feels like a favorite. No surprises here.
Jason?
Chalk so far, even over Naito, who has not looked good in any of his matches, and that's difficult for me to say, but it is what it is. So far, so good. ZSJ on the way.
We'll get to Naito.
You
Evil.
don't have to, really.
Evil's got 6 points. Evil has beaten Gabe Kidd in, I agree with Zach, one of the best matches of the tournament thus far. It was fucking really.
Begrudgingly, I have to agree.
It was really, really good. He also beat Jake Lee, and he beat Sonata in what I have to say was the worst match of the tournament. It's funny how Walker keeps talking about how Evil was bragging how he was going to have the worst match every night. That's a funny thing for somebody to say coming into the G1. But
ain't that damn funny.
yeah, I mean, Evil. Okay, Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised at how good the Gabe Kidd match was. I laughed out loud multiple times. Just Gabe Kidd starting the match with a Tope Con Hero. And then, of course, the inevitable bump where Evil knocks over that guy on the sidelines. That fucking kills me every time. But yeah, there was all kinds of fun shit in this match. But yeah, legitimately terrible showing from Evil. That's what we expect.
Jason, what do you think?
I mean, this is what I said, in our preview, man. Evil, I would not be surprised if he's there at the end. This is par for the course. God bless him. He's undefeated so far. I'm just praying that the wagon wheels fall off, in some form or fashion, so he doesn't even get advanced to the quarters. But You said that Sonata and Evil was the worst match that so far.
Bro.
I will guarantee you Evil and Naito will surpass that.
Oh, maybe not. I mean, because, like, Sonata is like a charisma suck, and at least Naito has charisma.
Shit,
Coming up next,
he'll do a Destino.
we have Shingo Takagi with 4 points. Shingo has beaten Naito. Shingo lost to Shota Umino, and Shingo beat the Great Okan. Where you at on Shingo thus far, Jason?
Little surprised on the Shota Umino, especially if Shota Umino is truly hurt. Supposedly he has a hip fracture, and he's working through it. Doesn't look like he's slowed down that much, but that's a different story for a different time. Beat Naito, no problem with that. Should be doing that, and that's not even knock on Naito's performance. I just think that Shingo has been a pandemic champion that's been forgotten about so many, and that's across the board. It's not even New Japan. I think it's in all promotions. Him beating Great Okan, I'm not even sure why the fuck he's in this point. I mean, it's just he's a champion, and he's just getting L's every time.
Hot take.
And
Great Okan's been kind of good.
Okay.
I mean, he hasn't been.
Great.
Go ahead, Zach.
He's good. He's been wrestling in this, so it's been good. He's been like doing more like wrestling, which he's good at. So he looks pretty good in the tournament.
Yeah, because
he's not a star.
I'm not asking him to be a star. I'm just saying if you're going to put a championship on him, treat him as such. Otherwise, why even fuck around? We haven't seen much of it.
What championship does he have?
The KOPW title.
he does. I didn't know he had that.
That's a joke title.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a Gabe Kidd conversation, huh? Gabe Kidd lost to Evil. Gabe Kidd beat Great Okan, and Gabe Kidd beat Shota in what was one of the best matches of the tournament thus far. Zach, what do you think about Gabe Kidd's 4 points?
Oh, just comes out super aggressive every time. The fans are really taking to him. He is a highlight of any show that he's on, and I'm very glad. Seems like not that long ago, I think he had some kind of like mental health thing. He was like posting a lot of stuff, and like had some time off and stuff. It wasn't that long ago, I feel like. If it's the same person that I'm thinking of. But anyway, he's awesome, and he's a highlight.
Jason.
I'll go as far as to piggyback on what Threebeard just said. I'd rather him be the leader of the Bullet Club over David Finlay. I think he has that much potential. I think he should be at least the global heavyweight champion. I could easily see him being a future IWGP champion. He's that good.
Oh, yeah.
Fans react to him in whatever fashion he can manipulate him to do so. And like that in-ring ability, cuts promos. I mean, he's right now one of their hidden gems, and they need to start pushing the pedal on this motherfucker.
Born in 1997. He's 27 years old. I think that he's just fine. He's had an incredible tournament. Like Zach said, he's the highlight. Even when it's not, even that Great Okan match when they were they were walking and brawling, not my favorite style of match at all. Gabe Kidd is so fucking entertaining in that environment.
And we've seen him do it before.
Did you hear about the beef that him and Shota actually had before the match because Shota ate the pork off the top of his ramen when Gabe Kidd left the room for a second? And Gabe Kidd was yelling at Shota, "You think you're going to eat my fucking lunch?" And that was a hard-hitting match.
I didn't know that part. Okay, that makes it.
It's a really fun. It's a really funny reason to be mad at some dude.
Hey man,
but a real reason. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so now we gotta bring it back down. We got Tetsuya Naito with 2 points. Naito has lost to Shingo. He lost to ZSJ. And he beat Jake Lee. Jason, he's your boy. You go ahead and go first.
Probably should have lost to Jake Lee, too, while you bullshitting. This is the worst I've ever seen Naito look. And I was thinking about this today when I was watching, not even watching the Jake Lee match, but when I was watching it. And Threebeard, I'll give him the credit. He's been calling this decline for a hot minute. And as a mark, I've just tried to conveniently slide that by, not pay attention to it. him losing to Moxley really didn't make sense, at least booking-wise. Him getting the title back booking-wise doesn't make sense because now he looks like a shell of his former self. I don't care about the charisma. I love watching him come down the ring. I love watching him get undressed. I love the music. All that shit aside, once that bell rings, that is not an IWGP champion. I wouldn't be surprised. I hope he does not advance to the quarterfinals because he doesn't deserve to go to the quarterfinals.
Zach.
Yeah, they do this story every year with Naito where he loses a lot of his opening matches and then he goes on a run at the end. But I think it's time for him to not go on a run. I'm glad that Shingo beat him. I really want Shingo. That's the only way for Shingo to really get a title match because they're in the same faction. I hope that he gets it. And man, it'd be awesome if he won it. Obviously, Zach's getting the title match, whether he wins or not, because he grabbed the belt after their match.
Not supposed to do that.
Shit. What's Naito going to do?
It always means you lose.
They better not.
Traditionally.
They better not.
But, the Jake Lee match was legitimately terrible. I know we're going to talk about it, but every Jake Lee match has been legitimately terrible. And every Naito match has been terrible also. Even the Zach one, which is the best of the bunch, wasn't super great. And that's about the best match that you could imagine, that you could book. Like, Zach can even get a good match out of Tanahashi now, which is hard.
Yeah. So. Naito, you gave credit to Zach for calling this a long time ago. I've been calling it. I mean, I'm not saying Zach didn't either, but I need some credit.
Okay, you guys both called
Okay,
it.
thank you. Naito has been awful. It looks like he is tired or weak or something, unless he is kayfabing this fucking Destino shit.
No.
Because
I was actually thinking, it's so bad. I was like, it's so bad it could almost be a gimmick because even the announcers are talking about it.
No, this has been going on for a while. This is going back to Sonata. This goes back to
Okada. I mean, the Wrestle Kingdom match was not good.
No, this has been going on for a while, and now it's severely noticeable to where he can't do his finishing move. It's time to go ahead and just get.
I still think he makes it. I still think he makes it to the top three.
No, he better not.
I think that the winner of the previous year's G1 has only not made the semis once.
Fine.
Every time they've had semis.
Fine, make it twice.
Which they didn't always have semis. But Jake Lee's got 2 points. Jake Lee, the aforementioned. Let me see here. What was his first match? Oh,
smoked the Sonata.
Oh yeah, that's right. He squashed Sonata, and I was like, okay,
they're
gonna do something with him, and then he loses. He loses to Naito, and he loses to, help me out here, Evil. Oh, my God. Listen, I told you guys I'm a Jake Lee mark.
I am as well.
He's not good in ring. Let's just get that out of the way. He's not, but let's also say this, though. His 3 matches have been Sonata, Evil, and Naito.
Ding!
Like, we haven't seen him work anybody that's fun yet. Him versus Gabe Kidd is going to be fun.
Thank you.
Because that's a lot of character. But, I like his style. I like his mannerisms. I think he carries himself like a fucking cock-sucking heel. And I love him. Zach, what do you think?
I think Ospreay could get a 2-star match out of him.
Holy shit.
I'm just being an asshole. Like I said, I was texting you guys. I've seen him wrestle Kenobi Hour, and it was real good. I don't watch a ton of All Japan, but I watched some Kenobi Hour matches, and he's great. And I remember Jake Lee, and I was like, oh, this guy's really good. And then I've seen him in this, and I was like, this is not the guy I remember. Or maybe it is, and he just doesn't have as good a dancing partner, like you guys said.
Yeah, that's a tough first 3.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, and Evil can actually wrestle, but
I'll tell you what, him versus Great O'Connor ain't going to be fun either.
No, that can drag for a little bit. I'll admit to that shit, too.
Sonata has 2 points. Sonata gets squashed by Jake Lee. Sonata beats... he loses to Evil, and then Sonata beats Callum Newman.
Dude, that fucking Sonata Evil match was so terrible. Like, if they would have just I know that they had Evil beat Sonata, but if they would have just ended it and because he had Sonata lay down for him, and then Sonata tricked him and rolled him up. If they would have just had Sonata go over him and with a roll up, that'd have been perfect. But then you had to sit through 15, 20 minutes of just the worst shit you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like they were trolling us. Were you on Sonata, Jason?
Hard to believe he's a former world champion.
No doubt about that.
Certainly, both those motherfuckers were.
Yeah, that's true.
Jesus Christ.
Callum Newman has 2 points. He went over Shota in the first night, which really ramped up the injury rumors. Let's see here.
Lost to ZSJ.
Who am I talking about? Oh, yeah, he lost to ZSJ, and he lost to Sonata. Where are you at on Callum Newman?
I like Callum Newman. I like we said in the preview, he's just going to take some L's. But I mean, the matches that he's had so far have been entertaining. Even the Sonata match, ZSJ was entertaining in the sense of where for a little bit he tried to wrestle ZSJ, which is always a mistake. Next thing you know, you looked up, he was tapping out.
I love that tap out. I love that quick tap out.
Callum Newman is an interesting character. I like Bolton Oleg more, but I like Callum Newman as well. I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, there's 11 years difference between those guys. Zach, what do you think?
He's great. He's going to take some pins here, but he's going to give some really good matches, and we knew that going in.
Shota Umino. So, if he's hurt, I can rescind this. But, they came out and named their three musketeers, as previously mentioned, as Shota, Ren Narita, and Yoda And really, doesn't it seem like the three musketeers now are Yoda Yuya, and Gabe Kidd?
Oh.
I think Shota is hurt. Shota, Gabe Kidd, I feel like he's ancillary because he's Gaijin. But he is probably just he's just at the same level as a Yoda even though he's not, homegrown or whatever. Oh, maybe
Zach,
he is.
Zach, their culture is not your costume. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of, he feels homegrown. He's 27. That's so young, man.
He probably is homegrown, dojo and all that. I just mean not Japanese, I guess.
Yep. Jason, what do you think about that?
That's a very interesting take. I can kind of see why you say Gabe Kidd. Uemura, I need to see a little more before I jump on that, but the talent is there. Yoda I think we all know how I feel about him, but I got to see if Shota is truly hurt. I just don't see, if he's hurt, it's not enough to where it visibly shows he's working through this. Okay? It's not like his matches have suffered, and I think that's the more important thing.
And then the only winless participant this year in the Yujiro role, we have Great Okan with 3 losses to ZSJ, Gabe Kidd, and Shingo. I'll go first here. I think that Great Okan has had 3 pretty good matches, and it looks like he's putting a lot of effort into it. So he's had good dance partners too. I'll say that. But so far, thumbs up on Great Okan's tournament.
Go ahead, Three Beer. This is you.
Great Okan, Mall Baby, walking down the street. Mall Baby walking with her feet. They say Great Okan is not a star. We say he's a star. I say he's not a star.
Was it some haiku shit on Great Okan? What the fuck?
I think you should leave reference grossly exacerbated, but he's fun. I like Great Okan, but he ain't gonna be having a dope G1 with all this competition. This is a really good tournament with a lot of elite guys. So you'll have some good matches, but 6 points is about the most I can expect from him.
Who do you miss more, Ishii or Toriano?
Fuck, that's the hardest question.
Oh,
I
man,
think anyone's
fuck
ever asked
Yano,
me.
man. Come on, man. You know, you're on my ass.
You kind of miss Yano, though, don't you?
Not at all. No.
You kind of miss him a
No, I
little
do
bit.
not.
It's definitely Ishii, but I do miss Yano.
Why would I want to see a match between Yano and Naito at this point? If they're already kind of bad, Naito can't even hold his end of the bargain up. There ain't no reason I want to see that shit. Fuck no.
All right.
Dude, some of my favorite, like, I still remember, like, Omega Yano in the G1. That's one of my favorite G1 matches ever.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's fucking
Omega
awesome.
kept his shirt on.
Oh, my God. I can't believe
incredible
we had those
stuff.
matches.
Man from ringside.
Dolph Ziggler won the TNA Championship this week at Slammiversary. I did not see it. It doesn't sound like anybody did. But Dolph Ziggler is your TNA champion.
If Dolph Ziggler wins the TNA Championship in the forest and no one's around to see it, can you still hear it?
Apparently so, because there was some backlash that Joe Hendry didn't win it, and I can't necessarily say I disagree with that. I get it.
He's a WWE wrestler now. Why would they put it on a WWE wrestler?
Because Joe Hendry is the hottest thing on either brand right now, and that includes NXT.
And then, I don't really have anything to say about NXT. Pete Dunne showed up. He's gonna fight.
He's working all the shows.
Okay.
Yeah, he is. He's staying busy. Trick Williams and Cedric and Ashante the Adonis. Ashante the Adonis just straight up getting fucking worked, man.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up. Now take this
Guy's
right.
earning his paycheck.
I mean to tell you,
Just
boy.
getting humiliated out there.
I will say, I thought Cedric would get a good match out of Trick, and this wasn't that great.
Thank you.
And what? You liked it
I
or
thought
didn't
Cedric
like
would
it?
get a good match out. I didn't. I didn't think it was great.
Thank
I
you.
thought it was pretty fucking good.
No, dude, they were off. I love you. That was not that good.
Hey, everybody, we got some birthdays this week. It is fucking late. Noam Dar is 31. Nick Jackson is 35. Is he the older one? He's only 35, huh? Sammy Guevara, 31 on a milk carton.
Yeah.
Scott Steiner, let me do the math here. He is 62. Marco Stunt, the aforementioned.
33 and a third.
Marco Stunt, the aforementioned, is 28. Finn Balor is 43. Roddy Strong is 41. Marty Scurll. Did he get Me Too'd?
Yes, he was one of the first.
He is 36. Doink the Clown.
His girlfriend's half that.
Jesus Christ.
Is Doink the Clown alive? He ain't alive.
I don't
is he?
think so. I think he's all right.
Which one?
67,
Right.
the original. Dolph Ziggler is 44. Triple H is 55. And Hangman Adam Page is 33. Another week with all people that are still alive.
That's what's
Incredible
up.
stuff.
We got to change that.
Hey, everybody, we know there's a ton of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. For Tender Mahal,
Check.
for Murray the Murray Man Murray, for
Check.
Lucha Chris, for
Check.
Patriot Pass,
Check.
for Brett Jagger,
Double check.
for Vice, for Two Beer Zach Pullman,
Check.
for Jason Cornelius Bell.
Konnichiwa, bitches.
Next week, we're going to have a bunch of predictions.
Check.
So support your local restaurants, support
Check.
your local weed dealers,
Double
Black
check.
Lives Matter,
Double check.
free Palestine,
Triple
and
check.
call your parents and never
Check.
ever forget to boo the heels.
Boo!
Shut up, bitches.